Stay Tuned Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of two possibly intoxicated idiots watching the National Football League.
Welcome to Stay Tuned Sports, ladies and gentlemen. My name is King, hanging out with you here on this Sunday night as the New York Jetropolitans get ready to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure. I'm never going to call it that because it's Heinz Field, to me, forever stadium. Hope everybody out there has had a great day, having a great Sunday. Hope your teams have done well. Certainly, I hope your teams have done better than my New York Giants because, boy, do the Giants suck ass. Oh, my God, do the Giants suck ass. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, today was horrible. I don't know if you've noticed, but the belt, she is gone. She is no longer there. She is not allowed to be up because the Giants got mollywopped so very bad. So the belt goes to Jimbo for now. Again, in order for me to get the belt back, the Giants are going to have to beat the Eagles in their return matchup down in Philadelphia by more than 25 points. So I think Jimbo's going to hold on to the belt for a while, as the Giants were just thoroughly embarrassed at the big HVAC unit today, and embarrassed by Saquon Barkley. And I'm still very upset because Joe Shane and Brian Daboll have not been fired yet, and that's clearly something that needs to be done. I want to thank everybody for joining us here at Stay Tuned Sports as we're getting ready for Sunday Night Football. If you like what you're watching, please give us a like, share, subscribe. That helps us a ton. Also, getting into the chat now is going to be the links for our donation station, along with, if I can get something going up here. I guess I can't get anything going up here. What's going on? Yes, we have our donation station up. It's in the description below, along with our merch store. If you want to help us out, we have that there as well. Speaking of which, since the Steelers are playing tonight, we actually have new Steelers merch in the merch store for everybody to go and take a look at and to check out. 8-bit helmet shirts are in there right now. And again, more stuff's being added all the time. We've got some, last week was Seahawks and Green Bay stuff. We got a Washington football team of Redskin Commanders shirt in there. We got lots of stuff. We got lots of stuff going on. So what's going on here? Hold on, I got to pull some stuff up here because I'm wondering why is nothing coming up here? I got something wrong with the computer. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go along here. That's kind of what we always do here at Stay Tuned Sports. We just kind of figure it out as it goes along. And thank you for hanging out with us as we do figure it out, as we do go along. And we will get this all figured out. Putting in some promotional stuff here as we want to do. And maybe we'll get some people watching. I don't know. We'll see. Some other games that did happen today. Hold on. I'm still trying to. Oh wait, that's right. I need some X here. No, I don't need X like an ecstasy. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean. That's not what I'm saying. Ecstasy. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean. That's not what I'm saying. I got a double sound. Again, it's been a long, long day. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. pulling some stuff here. Now I got to go in the chat and put some stuff in there. ELS in the chat. ELS and his boys pulled out the last second win today. Congratulations to you guys. Going ahead and beating the Houston Texans up there in Lambeau, wearing your icy whites and your icy white helmets. Although, again, a yellow stripe would definitely help with that ELS. But you guys did win. Oh, I got a call. I missed the phone call. Son of a monkey shit. So, yes, you have the Packers winning. The full rundown of games today. Of course, we had the Jaguars beating the Patriots today to start off the day in London. Pretty big win there for the Jaguars. They desperately needed that. The Patriots, again, they got, 16 points? So, something. Looking down at our out-of-town scoreboard, again, giving us a rundown of all the games that did happen today. Indianapolis beat Miami 16-10. Not the greatest performance. And especially Anthony Richardson did not look nearly as good or crisp as Joe Flacco would have. But a win is a win is a win. And if this guy's going to be the future of your franchise, you got to make sure that he can play. So I understood the reason why they benched Flacco for Richardson. You want to get that started and going. But we'll see how the rest of this goes for the Indianapolis Colts. But they do get a win against the Miami Dolphins. Seattle, who everybody was kind of putting on fraud alert for having lost 3 straight games, including to the New York Giants, which for any team in the NFL right now is pretty embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed. Like, the Browns, the Browns are the Browns, so they're embarrassing anyway. But the Seahawks lost to the Giants too, so that's pretty embarrassing as well. But they go ahead and put 34 up on Atlanta and beat the Falcons by 20 points, 34-14. Did not expect that. I thought Atlanta would come out looking a lot better. They, unfortunately, for the Atlanta fans, did not. Of course, the Eagles beat the Giants. We don't have to touch on that game. I don't want to touch that game with a 10-foot goddamn pole for the rest of my goddamn life. What an embarrassment of a game that was. Buffalo. After getting down early to Tennessee, I believe Tennessee was up in this game 10-0. Buffalo, they assumed control. And Tennessee, even with starting Mason Rudolph, still not a very good team as Buffalo wins 34-10. As we mentioned before, ELS in the chat and his Green Bay Football Packers with a last-second field goal from maybe domestic violence, sexual assault there, Brandon McManus. They go ahead and get a last-second field goal from him and beat Houston by 2 points, 24-22. We had 2 games like that because we also had Detroit winning on a last-second field goal by 2 points over Minnesota, 31-29 in the waning seconds of that game. That was a very good game and a great back-and-forth game, and one that I wish I had watched other than watching my Giants suck the fattest porn star Johnny Sins penis that anybody's ever seen, because the Giants really do suck ass. Then we had Cincinnati versus Cleveland. The story coming out of this one is Deshaun Watson's Achilles popped rather Aaron Rodgers-like, as you saw his calf go once it snapped. And there was some consternation amongst the Browns to the Browns fans as there were boos and several sarcastic cheers as Deshaun Watson was led off the field. And they came to his defense and saying, and I understand what Jameis Winston was saying. I do understand what Myles Garrett was saying to an extent. Talking about how he's an upstanding citizen and all the other stuff. Maybe pull back on that a little bit. Just stick with the whole you don't cheer when somebody gets injured line. That's probably the way to go when you're talking about Deshaun. Just say don't cheer when somebody gets injured. That's all. Then we have some of the late games here. Vegas versus the Rams. Vegas, they made a valiant comeback but fall just short, 5-point short, as the Rams beat the Raiders 20-15. Story out of that game, Aiden O'Connell, broken thumb. So he's going to be out for a little while as Gardner Minshew now gets the starting job back by default. And we see Washington with a 40-7 win over Carolina. Story out of that game, Jaden Daniels, rib injury. Don't know the extent of it yet, but he did not come back into return. Marcus Mariota took over, actually scored a touchdown, believe it or not. And Washington was never in serious doubt for that game. And the Chiefs, I know it's not up here on the scoreboard, but the Chiefs go ahead and they beat San Francisco in their game. Let's see. Why is that not up there? Why is that not up there? It should be up there. I might have to fix my thing here. But yes, Kansas City goes ahead and they beat San Francisco 28-18. It's another 10-point win there for Kansas City. So Kansas City, again, Mahomes threw a couple interceptions. So far this season, Mahomes has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. He has not played particularly well. But he still is 6-0 as now the Chiefs are the only undefeated team in the NFL as the Vikings have taken a loss. Hamster just got back from the Falcons game. Boy, I don't know how to explain that. Again, I went into that game thinking full well that the Falcons were going to make that next step, that they kind of had found their rhythm, and that it was going to be basically them in Tampa Bay at the top of the NFC South, battling it back and forth all year. And we had the Seahawks on fraud alert, to tell you the truth, after their 3 straight losses. But Seattle comes down there and plays well. You know what? It was the gray pants. I'll tell you what. Seattle looks great when they wear the gray pants. They should wear them more often. But I think that's a huge advantage. Huge advantage. I'm a big man on uniforms and logos. So if you look good, you feel good, you play good. And it just seems like the Seahawks looked good and they played a little bit better. So again, it's not an all is lost moment there in Atlanta. You know, it's still very early in the season. You're still doing very well. And again, if Tampa Bay loses to the Ravens tomorrow, which is very possible, I mean, let's be honest, they are playing the Ravens, then you're still in the lead in the NFC South. So, disappointing game, sure. And you're going to get those in the season. You're going to get disappointing games. But yeah, definitely not an all is lost moment. But you would hope to see better as the season was going on there, Hamster. I no doubt about that. Again, I am in no room to talk here as my Giants. Well, yeah, you know, there's really not much more you can say about that. It's just the Giants are bad, and we still haven't fired Dable or Shane yet. And here's the thing, I'm still gonna defend Daniel Jones. I'll defend Daniel Jones to the end now. At this point, you know, I'm already too deep into it, so I got to defend him. But there's a lot of that offense and the play calls that Daboll makes that is, I think, wishful thinking on Daboll's part. Like he's calling plays and has these plays up there as if he's got Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback, as if he's got Travis Kelce as his tight end, as if he has Justin Jefferson as his wide receiver, as if he's got Saquon Barkley still as his running back. And he doesn't have any of those things. But instead of trying to adjust himself and adjust his game plan and adjust his play calling for the players and the tools that he has available, you know, that's the other thing. Like a good coach is somebody who can make use of what he has available to him. And it seems like Daboll is still trying to be the smartest guy in the room. And, you know, I'm going to be so smart and look what I'm going to do with all these plays. It's like you don't have those pieces. You don't have those pieces, and so that's been a problem. Joe Shane has been terrible as far as free agency. He's been terrible when it comes to drafting. The Giants' drafting is absolutely atrocious, and it got, you know, it was bad under Gettleman. It's gotten no better under Shane. The Giants have not improved at all under Shane, and then you have the whole Saquon Barkley fiasco. Which, listen. This game was a referendum on Joe Shane and how he handled the Saquon Barkley situation. And I got to say, failed. It's a massive failure. In every way, shape, or form that you can think of, the way that Saquon Barkley was handled, whether or not you want to say, like, oh, well, they should have gotten rid of Jones and kept him. They still could have kept both. You could have signed Barkley and franchise tag Jones and see what happens there. There's 10 different million ways where you could have figured stuff out, both last year and this year. And Shane kind of cocked it up all. So, like, looking at this from somebody who has to watch this and see this every week and every day and all year and all this other stuff, like, it's time for Shane to go. It's time for Dabo to go. It's time to honestly clean house from top to bottom. I would keep Malik Neighbors. I would keep Dexter Lawrence. And I would get rid of everybody else. And I would almost start fresh like we're a goddamn expansion team at this point. Because it's just, it's atrocious from top to bottom in the New York Giants organization. It's a rot. And it's not getting any better. Hamster in the chat, it was cool. I got to take my grandma for her 87th birthday. Congratulations, Hamster's grandma. I hope you had a great time and a fun time down there. Even though you lost, it's still fun. It's still a fun time to go out there. And that's the one thing I like about Atlanta is that they keep the concession prices kind of like normal. Like they're not crazy. You don't have the crazy prices. So that's actually pretty cool. So a big shout out to Arthur Blank and the Falcons for doing that. Pecan in the chat. Saints need a new coach and quarterback. You could say that about a lot of teams that are struggling right now. Pecan, I'll tell you that. I don't know. Again, I think the Giants need more than just a new coach and a quarterback. We need a whole new team at this point, and I'm willing to just throw everything out. Throw out the baby and the bathwater. Throw out the bath too. Maybe the kitchen sink along with it. Just throw everything out. Because it's not, whatever it is, it's not working. So that's just the way it's going right now. Let's see here. We see Davante Adams there on the sidelines for the New York Jetropolitans as he is going to play tonight with the Jets. Hold on, let me get into the chat here. I gotta post the links into the chat. So let me get in here. And as we see Melissa Stark giving us one final update while she's wearing apparently a traffic cone as a coat. I'm not saying anything. I'm not a fashionista. I don't know all those things. I'm just saying it looks a little weird. Is all I'm saying. All right. So now we do have those links in the chat. By the way, if you do want to help us out more directly, we do have the link now in the chat for our donation station to support the boys down there at buymeacoffee.com. You can find that link in the top of the chat. It is pinned along with our merch store link that is there as well. For anybody who is watching this game and is a Steelers fan, again, we got the new Steelers 8-bit helmet shirts in the merch store right now, plus so many other things if you want to go check that out. Link is in the chat and in the description. And Pittsburgh will be getting the ball first as they are wearing their 70s throwbacks here for, I believe, Super Bowl IX. They got the regular, nice-looking block numbers, which should be the main numbers anyway. Why they ever went to that dumb italicized one, I don't like it. And the gray face masks, which are, love gray face masks. I know a lot of people don't, but I'm a big gray face mask guy. Love them. So Steelers looking very good tonight in their classic uniform setup. As we see Russell Wilson coming out here for the first snap of the season for him here in Week 7 as he takes over as starting quarterback for the Steelers. Does he have a short leash? We'll see. Depending on how good or how badly he does. First snap under center. He's going to hand this one off, and that's going to be a gain of about 4 yards for the Steelers and Najee Harris. Let me pull this up here. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports on this Sunday night watch along. If you like what you're watching, please give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. That will help us out, and especially make me feel better. Subscribes right now will make me feel a whole hell of a lot better. Russell Wilson, first pass attempt, floats it out, and that's going to be caught, and a first down for the Steelers. So Russell Wilson's first pass is a completion to Darnell Washington, tight end. And that's going to be a gain of not a non-significant amount. Yes, Darnell Washington is, look at it, he's a big boy. That's a big boy there. 13, 53, 52, 51 here on the clock if you want to sync up as we're watching here. Again, Russell Wilson under center. Again, it's going to be a handoff here to Najee Harris, and he breaks off. He gains, and still on his feet, not tackled yet. He gains about 16 yards on the carry, Najee Harris. And the Steelers moving the ball against this Jets defense. Again, the Jets run defense not getting any better from Monday night when they played the Bills. Hamster, I subbed after the Grossi raid, but I figure I'll watch here for a bit. Thank you so much. And again, that was really, that was an amazing night. It really was. We got double raided that night. We had a raid from It's in the Blood, and they had a blood raid with Papa Blood. He was in here a couple days ago as well. And also then right after that, Russell Wilson almost gets sacked. He does get away though, and he gains about a yard on the escape attempt. And then we had the Grossi raid with the Grossi posse, which was amazing. And that meant so much, especially, with it being, Grossi. And, he's like one of the top guys in the YouTube sports community with him and Perna. I like both of them. I've watched both of them for a while. And me having been in radio, I've been wanting to do something like this, but never really had the courage to do it. And then watching him and Perna do it, I was like, you know what? It's about time. Let's just jump over to it. Because I've been doing a podcast for a while. As you can tell, 2016 is actually when I started this one. And, doing an audio podcast is one thing. But doing the video portion, I didn't have the equipment. I didn't have a camera. I didn't have a webcam. I didn't have a computer that could stream. It was really old and rickety and stuff like that. Finally, it died. I didn't have a computer for about 8 months. It was a whole big schmear. But thanks to some very good people in my life, I was able to put some stuff together, and we were able to get this on here. So once I was able to do so, doing it, and then within the first couple of weeks of actually being on air and doing live streams, to have Grossi coming and raid it was pretty cool. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Steelers. Russell Wilson's just going to throw that away on 35, so it's going to be now 4th and 5 in the Steelers. Where exactly are they in the field? They might have to punt or they might kick. Boswell's a good kicker, so we'll see. But I don't know exactly where they are. I don't know if they're close enough. They are close enough, though. They're going to go for it. Boswell is on the field as the Steelers are getting ready to see if they can get 3 points out of this. 11:37 here remaining in the first quarter. 46-yard field goal attempt for the Steelers. Boswell. Snap, hold, kick, up. Not even a question. That is good. Boswell is close to automatic as you can get. So, with 11:33 here remaining in the first, we have Pittsburgh 3, the Jets nothing on Sunday night. Hopefully, the Jets can do a little bit better than their big blue counterparts at MetLife Stadium, at the Meadowlands, at the big HVAC unit, because, boy, did the Giants suck. I just want to point that out there. And we got the Yankees going to the World Series, so that's pretty cool if you're in the New York area, a big New York fan. Or, again, I know there's a lot of bandwagon Yankee fans. That just comes with the territory. But having grown up in the area, I'm an actual Yankees fan. It's cool. Also, the Mets still fighting for their lives. They can still be in their Subway Series. Not dead yet. And I'm sure ELS will keep us updated with all the baseball goings-ons in the chat. ELS, of course, one of the first subs here we ever had, one of the coolest guys we got, and he's always here with the stats and the updates and the cool stuff. So big shout-out to ELS, and a big shout-out to everybody who is watching us right now. Thank you so very much. If you like what you're watching and not yet subscribed, please give us a like, share, and a subscribe. Helps us out a ton. And also, chat's open. Come on into the chat. Join in, everybody. We're having a good time hanging out here, watching the Jets and the Steelers, either celebrating or lamenting our football team's performance on this Sunday. Me, I am full-on lament, baby. I'm Shakespearean tragedy here, talking about my New York Giants and the embarrassment that they were today against their biggest arch rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, as they let Saquon Barkley just teabag his nuts all over their face. And really all over our face. We got teabagged by Saquon today. It was a horrible KD ratio, if you want to put it in gamers terms. It was bad, just bad, all the way around. As we were going through before, catching up with some of these other games, Colts beat Miami 16-10 with Anthony Richardson in there. We already covered how Seattle went into Atlanta and won. Sorry, Hamster, about that. Talking a lot about the Giants and Eagles, which I don't want to, but kind of have to at this point. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I get it, and like you have to face the music at some point. Like, you can't just run and hide from it. I am wearing Devils gear now, though. I wasn't going to wear my Giant shirt again for the rest of the. I was like, nope. As soon as that game was over, I took that off as immediately, as quickly as possible. I was like, that's. They embarrassed me so much. It's so bad. But, I still got my Giants hat up there. That's my Giants hat that you barely see. That's a Giants hat. That's my Notre Dame hat. Here's my Devils hat. I still got my Strahan jersey on the back of the chair here. So it's still Giants fan, but boy, is it hard to be a Giants fan right now at this hour. As we're getting ready now to kick off here, and the Jets will get their first possession of the game, and let's see what Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams have cooked up here. Watch it be a 3-and-out. That's not going to be great. And that's going to be a returnable kick here for the Jets, and they get it only up to the 22-yard line. And that is where the Jets and Aaron Rodgers will take over. Let's move over our possession ball. And there we go. As we're taking a look at the Jets offense here from NBC Peacock. Aaron Rodgers in shotgun, Breece Hall behind him. Conklin in motion for the Jets. Snap, Aaron Rodgers back, looks, throws. That's going to be dropped by Davante Adams. First pass is to Davante, and it is a little behind him as he tried to grab it then and was unable to haul it in. So 2nd and 10 coming up here for Aaron Rodgers and the Jetropolitans. You kind of figured that Davante was going to be the first target that he went to tonight. It absolutely 100% felt like that. So here's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Breece, and Breece is only going to get 2 yards on the carry. So 3rd and long now coming up here for the Jets. The Jets offense has really struggled here as we look at Aaron Rodgers' stats. All of his stats, which are the 2nd worst through 6 games in his career. So Aaron Rodgers not having a real great time. But 3rd and 8 against this Steelers defense. Ooh, boy. And here comes the snap. Aaron Rodgers takes it. He's looking. He's got time, and now he's sacked. He had time, but ran out of it. And you can't, with that Steelers defense, you don't have much time to deal with. So, 3-and-out. Did not go well for the Jets, and the Steelers will get the ball back, and we will see Russell Wilson's second drive to see if it is any better than his first. In his first, at least he got him within field goal range. Let's see if he can do any better on this second one. Brandon Ayuk is feared to have a torn ACL and will probably be out for the season for the 49ers. And the punt is away. And the Steelers will fair catch it at the 35-yard line. And that is where they will take over for their second drive of the night here on Sunday Night Football as we take another look at Aaron Rodgers getting his ass sacked. Too bad your ass got sacked. Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't get into the politics or anything like that's never going to be something that this channel ever gets into or does. But yeah, apparently Trump is at the game. They had to step up the security. I did see all that, and Again, I'm just checking out what do we got here on the Twitter X, trying to find something that's going on, seeing how everybody's doing. Again, thank you so much for watching here at Stay Tuned Sports. Again, my mind is still, I'm very scatterbrained tonight, so I do apologize a little bit for that. Again, that Giants game really did, it screwed up me bad. It's that kind of loss. It really is. It's that kind of loss that sticks with you. I know there's always the memes of, like, oh boy, I'm going to let my football team dictate my mental health for the next 6 months or whatever. But, and usually it's, that's funny, and it's kind of funny because, like, you win or you lose, and if you lose, you're a little down. If you win, you're happy. It does kind of set a mood a little bit, but it's not supposed to do this, what it does to you. Like, this loss today was one of those kind of losses where it's like, this is embarrassing. And the Giants have had so many embarrassing losses to the Eagles lately over the years, and it's getting tiring. It's getting tiring to keep on losing to the same team, your rival team, the team that you hate more than any. And not only do you keep on losing to them, but you lose so badly to them. Like in the 2022 playoffs, you got crushed. In the season finale of that year when you played them, you got crushed. Like, every time you play this team, you get crushed. And it is crushing at a point. So I'm all scatterbrained right now. I did see somebody post a video. Apparently, though, there is a young lady, a Steelers fan, at the Miami Taylor Swift concert. And while she is there watching Taylor Swift, she is also on her phone in her bejeweled Steelers jersey watching the Steelers. That's a true fan right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you do. Russell Wilson here, 1st and 10. He's going to drop this one off out of the backfield, and that's going to be caught for a couple of yards there. I'd say about 3 yards. Jaylen Warren with the reception. As you take a look at Justin Fields on the sidelines. Second and 6. It's going to be another handoff to Warren. And that's going to be another gain of about 3. Maybe 4. It seems to be about 2 yards. Before the first down. And indeed, nope, they're calling it 3rd and 1. So they spot it to 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 coming up here. Empty backfield for Russell Wilson, as he is in shotgun. Warren in motion. Takes the snap. Wilson looks, throws, and that's going to be dropped. Incomplete. Calvin Austin was the intended receiver. Could not come up with the pass. As he had it, it caught, and then he just dropped it as he went to the ground. So that's on Austin. That's not on Russell Wilson. He did get it. He threw it. So like a decent pass on a moving play for Russell Wilson. So again, I can't blame him. Not bad, but it does end up being now 4th and 1, and the Steelers are going to punt. And there's the snap, and the kick is away. And the Jets will fumble the ball, and it fumbles out of bounds. Oh, dear sweet Lord. Gibson could not hold on to it, but lucky for him, it bounces out of bounds, so the Jets will maintain possession. He called for a fair catch at around the 12, and then he just muffed it. He just moofied it. Just did the moof. Oh, yeah. What's this? Game 5 of the WNBA Finals is on tour. You got WNBA Finals. You got NLCS. You got Sunday Night Football. You got so many great things going on happening, people here. Let's see. Out of habit, when I see Atlanta had lost, I said that will help the Saints. And then I know. That's the problem, too. Like, I'll be watching games, and it's like if the Eagles do lose, or the Cowboys have not been played well, so the Cowboys lose, like, oh, this helps the Giants. It's like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. None of this helps the Giants. None of this helps the Giants whatsoever. nothing's going to help the Giants except for just fire. Here's the thing. It's not going to help us in the win-loss column, but it will help the fan base feel better. It'll make the fan base feel like you're listening, that you give a shit about what your team is or is not doing. And, showing that the results that you're putting out on the field are not acceptable and haven't been acceptable. And how you're handling the situation is bad. And listen, I know everybody wants to come after Daniel Jones and say he's bad. But you know what? We saw today what happens when you don't have Daniel Jones in the game. When you put Drew Horsecock Lock in there, guess what? It gets even worse. Like, if you gave me the choice between having Daniel Jones or Drew Lock, I'm taking Daniel Jones 100 out of 100 times, and it's not even a question. Drew Lock is fucking awful at quarterback. And we saw that today. So for everybody who's like, well, put anybody else back there, be better than Daniel Jones, there's your evidence. No, the fuck it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is any great shakes. And I do like Daniel Jones, and I will defend him to an extent. But let's be honest. There's no other option. There's no other option. You could go Tommy DeVito just for the shits and giggles of it, and just, hey, gabagool. And have the Italian guy in there. And that could work. Maybe just pull fans in just to be like, yeah, at least it's the Jersey guy, it's the local boy, Don Bosco Prep, whatever. But I wouldn't put Drew Lock back out there. If you're going to start Drew Lock over Daniel Jones, then leave. That should be a fireable offense in and of itself. Hamster in the chat, can we all just laugh at the Cowboys? Right? Yes, it's fun. Listen, it's always fun to laugh at the Cowboys. So them sucking is good. The problem is that they don't suck nearly as much as the Giants. And like I said, so them losing is fun, but the idea of like, oh, that helps the Giants. Yeah, no, that doesn't. That doesn't. Josh the Great in the chat. Are the Vikings frauds or the Lions? Lions are a good team. Lions are a good team. I think the Vikings have proved already enough that they're not frauds. First down and 10, handoff to Breece Hall, and that's going to be... Oh, and we got flags for... They're going to call that unnecessary roughness. Come on. Come on. What happened to this game I loved? Breece Hall got stopped a yard behind the line of scrimmage, but it looks like they're going to say that his forward progress was stopped, and that when he got taken to the ground, they're going to say personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the Steelers. That's a call. But again, it's the officials this year. In 2024, it's bad. So, yeah, John. So, John, to your question, though, whether you think the Vikings frauds or the Lions good, I think they're both good teams. I think they're both good teams. And again, you saw it came down to a last-second field goal to win, which had a 2-point victory. It was one of those games. That's one of those games you dream of. That's a nice, hard-fought, back-and-forth game that came down to a last-second kick for 2 points for a 2-point win. Like, that's pretty good. First and 10 for the Jets, thrown to Breece Hall out of the backfield, and he's got some open space as he is all the way up to the 50-yard line as he's tackled right on the hypocycloids in the Steelers logo, and the Jets will have another first down. I agree, LS. The NFC North is the division right now. You could say the Bears are the worst team in the division, and they're still 4-2. They're 4-2. They're getting better every week. Caleb Williams is getting better every week. And I know people, they played the Panthers and they played the Jaguars. Yes, but they're beating the teams that you should. As we saw, the Patriots, they're also not a good team, and they got stomped by the Jaguars today. So you can still tell that there's a hierarchy. And there's the first catch for Davante Adams, 9-yard catch. And the Jets will have 2nd and 1 coming up here as Davante gets his first pass from his secret lover, his ayahuasca pal, Aaron Rodgers. Again, thank you so much for watching us here on Stay Tuned Sports. If you want to come and join us in the chat is open. Come and say hi. We got a lot of people in there hanging out with us. That is always fun to do and see how your teams are doing this week. Lament or celebrate either way. And, just have some fun here together. Hand off to Breece Hall, and that's going to be a 3-yard loss for Breece Hall as you had JJ in the backfield, or TJ, sorry. ELS in the chat. Here's the thing about the Bears. All their wins have been against shitty teams. I want to see how the Bears do again. Obviously, you want to see how they do against a better level of competition. All I'm saying is that they are, they're looking good against the teams that they should look good against. Which not, there's some teams where you think that they're supposed to do that and they don't. Let's see. I live between Atlanta and Nashville, so the Titans are my second favorite team. I know nothing but pain over the years. That's going to be caught by Lazard, and he's going to be marked about half a yard short. And I know about the pain. Well, again, being a Giants fan. Oh, I think that's a first down. The ref's going to think he wasn't, but I thought he was. I think the ball was over before any joint touched. And they did. So they call it. I guess they did the expedited review. They are calling it 1st and 10. All right, good job, expedited review. But yeah, for the last 13 years or so, the Giants have been hot since we won our Super Bowl in 2011. February of 2012, but the 2011 season. Since then, the Giants have been absolute atrocious hot garbage. I believe we made the playoffs twice since then, with the only playoff win coming in 2022 with Daniel Jones against the Minnesota Vikings. So 1st and 10, pass to Breece Hall out of the backfield, and he's got some room again to run here as he breaks it down to the 27-yard line. And that's going to be another Jets first down. So the Jets having a pretty good sustained drive here. Started off with a personal foul penalty for unnecessary roughness against the Steelers, which I personally think was kind of bullshit. But since then, the Jets have been moving the ball fairly well. Davante Adams has his first catch as a New York Jet. As the Jets now from the 27-yard line. Aaron Rodgers in shotgun. Takes the snap. He passes it here. That's going to be caught, but only for a gain of about 2 yards. I think that's Braylon Allen. And indeed it is. So 2nd and 8, they gave him 2 yards on it. I thought he only got a yard. But 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers takes a snap. He's going to throw here to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson breaks free. He's got a first down and more down to the 14-yard line. As the Jets are moving the ball here. Aaron Rodgers using all the weapons at his disposal right now. And that's the thing. The Jets have a ton of weapons. So I think this is a decent idea. Spread this thing around. ELS in the chat. He's talking to Josh the Great. Here's the thing about the Vikings. The Vikings look like the strongest team in the NFC, but this week, the team. Well, here's the thing, and I'll say this. I'll say this as to the point of the Vikings is their last 2 games, the second half they kind of let their foot off the gas a bit. And here we go. That's a handoff to Breece Hall, and he's going to run it all the way into the end zone. That's going to be a Jets touchdown. So all of a sudden, see, when you use all those weapons, the Jets' running game opened up a little bit there. Breece Hall, 8-play, 82-yard drive for the Jets in 5 minutes and 41 seconds. And that was a good, crisp, efficient drive that you saw from the New York Jetropolitans, which is something that Jet fans have not seen all year. And here comes the extra point. And snap, hold, kick, up. And it is good. And the Jets now have a 7-3 lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eels in the chat. Honestly, the Lions show me why they are a very strong team again. 2 big wins against the Cowboys and the Vikings. Yeah, but here's the thing. When it comes to the Cowboys, now the Cowboy wins are starting to lose a little bit of luster. Because clearly the Cowboys are not nearly as good as everyone kind of thought we were. Like, it's just the Cowboy name at this point. But to my point about the Vikings, is we saw in their last 2 games they played, they kind of let their foot off the gas in the second half, Like they had a 28-0 lead on the Packers, and then won that game by 2 points because the Packers outscored them 29-3 the rest of the game. Like that's bad. And then again with the Jets in London, they got a big lead, and then they let the Jets come all the way back to the point where they had a chance to tie the game late in the game if Aaron Rodgers could throw to anybody. And if the Jets offense at that time was any good, they would have had that opportunity as well. So there were some cracks starting to show a little bit in the Vikings. Now, that's not to say that the Vikings are a bad team. And like we said before, I don't think the Vikings are a bad team. And that's what we saw today. They went toe-to-toe with the Lions. And again, the Lions are a team that was, a half away from the Super Bowl last year. And the team that went to the Super Bowl last year, not looking great right now. Again, they got injuries out the ass to the 49ers. But they're 3-4, not looking real great. You got to hope that at some point the injuries stop. But again, now you got Ayuk with a torn ACL. He's going to be out for the year after he held out and all that. So, maybe that had something to do with it. The fact that he held out and didn't practice and didn't go through training camp and didn't do anything, and then signs and starts trying to do stuff, and it's like, all right, yeah, but just too much stress on the knee, and now he's out for the year. So again, there's just a weapon, another piece that even though Ayuk kept on dropping all the passes too, it's still something, and now you don't even have that. I think Debo was injured in the game too. I don't think it was anything significant, but he was injured, and I don't think he came back in the game either. So you have all these problems with San Francisco that I kind of have to take San Francisco out of the running of thinking of like, oh, maybe an NFC favorite, maybe one that can be there at the end. I'm going to pull back on that. I think right now, if you're looking at like the best and the strongest of the NFC teams, they're all in the North. And I think everybody else is could, maybe, might be there. But I think when you look at the NFC North, you got the Vikings, you got the Packers, you got the Lions, and you might have the Bears get into the playoffs too. You might have the first division with 4 teams in there. If the Bears can continue to get better, if Caleb Williams continues to get better, that's what we're looking at there. So, but that NFC North is going to be a dogfight. And the other thing you got to worry about is each of those teams beating the shit out of each other going into the playoffs. You might have a situation where maybe another team can sneak in and beat them because the other teams are so beat to shit from playing each other that you get something out of it. So again, you never know. A long season. We got a lot of season left to go here. This is only week 7. There's 10 more games for each of these teams. Well, some of these teams, we got some teams with 5 weeks, but we got 10 games roughly going on forward here. So there's a lot of games. So there's still a lot of things that can shake out. The only thing I would know for sure is the Giants suck absolute porn star dick. 1st and 10, Russell Wilson in shotgun. He's going to throw out to his left. That's going to be incomplete. Pickens was the intended receiver. ELS, who is a Packers fan, and says, honestly, my take with the Packers, Jordan Love has made dumb mistakes, but our defense has stepped up big time this season. Your defensive every time I see Xavier McKinney, that's another reason why Shane should be fired. Not just for the Saquon shit, but because he let Xavier McKinney go like a moron. I think Jordan Love, yes, I think he's still young. I think he's still, again, this is his 4th year, but it's only his real 2nd year starting. I think he's still got some work to do. Plus, he's coming back from the injury. Oh, 2nd and 10. And Najee Harris is stopped in the backfield for about a 2-yard loss by Mills, who was in on a tackle. And Pittsburgh will have 3rd and long coming up here. Bears will be destroyed by the Commanders. That's going to be a fun one next week. That is going to be a fun one to watch here. And I think they moved that one to the 4 o'clock spot because that was originally a 1 o'clock game. I think they moved that to the game of the week spot. Russell Wilson tries to throw on a 3rd and 12, gets batted down by McDonald, wearing the old Mark Gastineau number there. You look at those jerseys, I want to say New York Sack Exchange with Mark Gastineau and Joe Klecko. But we'll see. Again, Jaden Daniels, he was hurt today, hurt his ribs. We'll see how he is for next week. You certainly hope that he's going to be able to play. But we'll see how that goes, Josh. I certainly hope to see that. Pecan in the chat, I hate to say it, but the Chiefs are going to have to be dealt with. Yes, they are. and this is what I mean. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns. They have not played nearly their best football or even good football, and they're 6-0. That's scary. That's a scary thing. Washington, Hampstead in the chat, Washington's going to be the team to beat for the next few years. They are good and just going to get better. That defense gives me pause. More, than anything else. When I think about Washington, their defense is good. I mean, their offense is good with Jaden Daniels and Scary Terry and all that. But their defense gives me pause. Again, I think if they had any defense at all, they probably could have beaten the Ravens. Again, you're talking about a team that barely beat the Giants. If the Giants had a kicker, the Giants would have beaten Washington. I know that's earlier in the year before Jaden kind of got into everything there, but you're talking about a team that let the Giants score 3 touchdowns on them. When the Giants can't score a touchdown, the Giants couldn't score if they had a $20 bills hanging out of their pocket at a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad. First down and 10, it's going to be a yard loss. Breece Hall with the carry. Seattle certainly did have a bounce-back game this week. Again, I had Seattle on fraud alert for having lost 3 games in a row after. And here's the thing. I thought I even gave them credit after the loss to Detroit. I was like, they played them tough and gritty. No defense really showed up in that game for either team. But that was a fun, entertaining game, back and forth. They hung with them. I was like, that was impressive. And then they lost that one. Then they lost to the Giants. Woo! And then they lost to the Niners. And it's like, oh, maybe Seattle's on a fraud alert. They're not looking that great. But they went down to Atlanta and took care of business by 20 points, 34-14. Aaron Rodgers throws all the way downfield to nobody in particular on 2nd and 11. 49 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. ELS in the chat, his top 5 NFC teams as he listed are the Vikings, Lions, Packers, Commanders, and Bucks. The Bucks are a team you got to, again, tomorrow's going to be a benchmark game, a measuring stick game, if you will, for the Buccaneers against the Ravens. If the Buccaneers win that game, you have to now start putting the Bucs up there as one of the top teams, not just in the NFC, but in the NFL. I mean, you really have to start looking at that. So that's going to be a big game for them. Aaron Rodgers, again on 3rd and 11, throws to his left, looks for Garrett Wilson, but again, it's not really near anybody. Kind of just goes out of bounds, floats out there. Jets 4th and 11, and they will punt. My name is King. Thank you so much for watching us here at Stay Tuned Sports. If you're hanging out with us, if you're watching with us, come on into chat. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, please give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. Helps us out more than you can even possibly imagine. And we thank you so much for that. As the punt is away, and that is going to be caught at the 34-yard line, and that is where he is dropped by the Jets special teams. Stiggers with, I'm being very careful in how I say that. YouTube is very touchy. So, I said his name. I said it once. That is all. Josh in the chat. I have a feeling that the Texans and the Ravens will have a shot at the divisional and conference championships. See, the Texans, the problem is the Texans with me. I know now they're 5-2 after the loss today, but they feel like a 3-3, 4-3, even 3-4 team. Like they and I felt like that before this game. I was like, they're 5-1, but they feel 3-3. Like they're not showing the impressiveness that they did in the latter half of last year. They're not, you're not seeing so much growth. You're seeing more of a slump than a growth, and that's with Stephon Diggs there. So, like, I'm not sure how to read the Texans quite yet. I'm not sure if I want to I don't have the Texans up in the upper echelon, if you will, quite yet. I think that they are still in my power rankings, but it's not, they're not one of the super top teams in my top 12 power rankings. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter with the Jets taking a 7-3 lead into the second quarter here at Heinz Field, and I'll be damned if I ever call it Acrisure Stadium because it's Heinz Field, God damn it, and it always will be. Yeah, it's kind of crazy with all these. But yeah, you figure, like, again, you never know how things are going to work out. You never know, but to the point made earlier, definitely the Chiefs are one that you got by Peak. I think it was Pecan who made it. You really have to watch out for the Chiefs because, again, the Chiefs are not playing well. The Chiefs are not playing well. Mahomes isn't playing well. Nothing about them seems Chiefs-like, if you will. Yet they're 6-0. Yet they're winning games, and winning. Some of them close, but some of them are with a little bit more authority. And that's for a team that's not playing well. If they ever somehow put it together, as it were, from our observational standpoint, if they ever start playing like the Chiefs of old, if they get healthier, if they get some pieces back, if they trade to get like a receiver or somebody, and they start clicking again, like it'll get scary for everybody real quick, and all of a sudden the three-peat talk is going to be there. But for right now, it's like this team sucks and they're still winning. How do you beat them? How do you beat a team that plays terribly and still wins and can still win by 10 points? Like that's a crazy thing when it comes to the Chiefs. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you go ahead and do that. What the hell? We got an error on my. Let's go ahead and refresh that. Let's refresh the out-of-town scoreboard here. There we go. So we got Dago Pecan. Chiefs are a defensive team this year. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's what some people are saying too. It's like they're not winning in a Chiefs-like fashion. So here's the thing. If the Chiefs defense is playing like this and playing so well and giving them all these opportunities and they're winning games like this, and then they're still able to somehow then get the offense going on top of that, Pecan, I'm telling you, that's going to be it's just going to be a Chiefs world, and we're living in it, baby. That's just what it is. Tyreek going back to retire with a Super Bowl with Patrick would be a very, very. He's not going. The Miami's not going to get rid of him. I don't think he's going to ask for a trade. I don't think Kansas City's got anything that they would want to get rid of or part with to get Tyreek either. So that's wishful thinking. It would be cool, I guess, in a sense to have that. But what the? Russell Wilson threw about 5 yards behind Pickens. And, oh, man, if you have a short leash on Russell Wilson, that leash just got a little bit tighter. That's all I'm going to say. Yikes. What a kind of play there. So 3rd and 8 coming up here for the Steelers. 2 seconds gone here in the second quarter. 14:58. If we're syncing up here and watching along with each other, and I certainly hope that we are. And again, thank you for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. Great to be here with you. Russell Wilson back to throw here on 3rd and 8, and he just chucks that again. Nowhere near Pickens, although he was apparently the intended receiver, and it's going to be 4th and 8 for the Steelers. As the Steelers fans are starting to get a little antsy, saying like, why not just put Fields back in there? Like, here's the thing, and I get that, Josh. Like, that's the thing is I understand the point that Tomlin was trying to make in saying, like, well, we have this guy. We have no idea. He's not been on the field, and we don't know what he's doing. Man, Gibson makes every punt catch a heart attack for the Jets. So we want to see what he can do, if he can do anything, particularly better, seeing that Justin Fields, while has been okay, hasn't really wowed anybody or played super great. But like, I think what we're seeing, like, again, give him the half. That's fine. If you want to give him the half, give him the half. But boy, oh boy, so far what we're seeing is not great or instilling confidence. If you're a Steelers fan watching this, Pecan in the chat, giving us an update on the Dodgers as they're up now 2-1 on the Mets. Hamster in the chat. Nice hat, though. I have some Devils gear. After they took away my Thrashers, I followed Kovalchuk and started pulling for the Devils. Hey, great to have fans down in the South. We thank you very much here. I've been a Devils fan my whole life, obviously growing up in New Jersey. First down, we got about a 4-yard run there from Brees Hall, but we also have a flag. And it's going to be flag number 2. and is holding against the Jets. By the way, just a quick update for anybody who hasn't been in here before or knows how this works with me and the flags. I know there's some other YouTubers, including Tom Grassi, who we mentioned before, big fan of Tom, and he does his flags by penalties accepted. I do not do that. I do by flags thrown, because you had the dirty intention to throw the flag in the first place, Mr. Official, and you stopped the game and you screwed everything up. So whether the flag is declined or it's picked up or whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's thrown, it gets counted in the counter. That's why it's a flag counter, not a penalty counter. Just want to point that out. But yeah, big Devils fan, huge Devil fan my whole life. I was there in '95 in the stands with my father when I was 13 years old to see them win the first Stanley Cup against Detroit. That was amazing. And yeah, so I've been a fan since the Christmas tree jerseys, been a fan since Chico Resch and Alain Chevrier and Bob Solvay and Sean Burke and Craig Billington and Chris Terreri, who was still, I have a Chris Terreri jersey that I still wear, still my favorite Devil of all time. So yeah, big Devils fan here with me. And we'll do live streams of Devil games as well. Jimbo's a big Flyers fan as well, so he'll do some live streams of Flyer games. I'll do some live streams of some Devils games. We'll do some of that stuff as the year goes on. 2nd and 11 coming up here for the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers in shotgun takes a snap back, looks, throws, and that's going to be blocked at the line. Incomplete. And 3rd and 11 now coming up here for the Jets. Josh in the chat, he says, Justin Fields is the answer. Just don't waste his prime. I don't think Justin Fields is great. I don't think Justin Fields is... he's not a revelation. He's not, he would be fighting to be a starting quarterback, I think, anywhere else. I think with Pittsburgh, I think it fits because Pittsburgh is going to rely on their defense first and foremost, no matter what. And as long as he keeps mistakes to a minimum, which he has, he's kept the turnovers at minimum, that's what you're looking for. Caught by Davante Adams, and he's going to get close. They're going to mark him. Why are you marking him way short? He had at least another half a yard there. These referees are terrible at spotting the ball. They're marking him a full yard short. When his ass hit the ground, the ball was more like half a yard away from that first down marker. It's still going to be 4th down. It still will be a punt. Because you'd be crazy to go for a 4th and inches on your own, 25. That's dumb. Yeah, that's a bad spot. But what are you going to do? Doesn't matter. They're punting anyway, are the New York Jets. And we'll get another look at Russell Wilson here. And see if he can perform any better on this drive. Punt is away. And that's going to be fair, caught at the 31-yard line. And that is where the Steelers will go ahead and take over. Very interesting that Pittsburgh added Justin, a mobile quarterback, while having a history of big quarterbacks in the pocket. Well, here's the thing. I think also when you got to think about it is Pittsburgh needed a quarterback. They didn't have him. They had Kenny Pickett, who they were clearly thinking of moving on from anyway. And when they brought in Justin Fields, and it was kind of looking like they were going to go with him, and Kenny was like, well, then I don't want to be here. I feel like I'm a starter somewhere else and all this other stuff. They were all too happy to get rid of him, which is, fine, whatever. So they were just desperate for a quarterback, which is why I think they got Russell. They went and got Russell Wilson too, because Russell Wilson was, he was released. They didn't have to give up anything for him, and they only paid him $1 million because the Broncos, he's got the rest of that Broncos contract. So he just took $1 million, which is in this day and age is a bargain for somebody who's won a Super Bowl, has played MVP caliber, has all of that with him. Now, again, he hasn't played like that the last couple of years, but you're hoping, hey, maybe if we get something out of him, if we can pull something out of him, maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe it's worth something. And at the end of the day, it's looking like more and more likely that that's not the case. But you don't know until you try. And I think that's part of the reason why he's starting right now is that you didn't know what you had because you hadn't played him, because the calf was injured and all this stuff. If we're going to take, and again, you have to take a more than just a quarter. So we'll see how he does here. But you can't come in and say well, I want to be the starter, and I think I can be the starter, and then not even perform to the basis level that Justin Fields has played at. Like, if you can't even beat that level, then you shouldn't be starting. And I think I don't know if he's going to get a half. I don't know if he's going to get the whole game. I guess it depends on what Tomlin feels like, how the fans react, all that kind of stuff. But he's going to have to do something here fairly quickly. Oh, 100% they took Russell Wilson for the value. It was that's a no-brainer. Like, hey, take him and see. Especially when you don't have a quarterback, like when you don't have Kenny Pickett, there was nobody else really on the market that you could grab. Everybody else had already gone other places. You didn't have the money to really grab anybody else, so you got Justin Fields, cool, but still unknown product. Did not really perform well in Chicago, and then you got Russell Wilson there. It's like, why not give it a shot? Throw the shit at the wall, see what sticks. First and 10, hand off to Najee, and that's going to be a gain of a yard. Pecan in the chat, I don't think either of these teams are making a deep run in the playoffs. If we're taking right now, as these teams are right now, the Steelers, I think, could make a deeper run just because of the defense. That Steelers defense is next level. It really is. With TJ and Cam and Minka, and now you got Patrick Queen on there too as a linebacker. Like they are a stacked defense. And if you're going to make a run, defense wins championships, as they always say. So I would never doubt Pittsburgh's ability to go deep in the playoffs with that defense. Pitch to Najee here on 2nd and 9, and he's going to get 3 yards on the carry. So it's going to be 3rd and 6 coming up here. But we have, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, I know it's been very rare this year, but there's a flag in this game. And that's going to be holding on Pittsburgh. So take that nice little 4-yard, 3-yard gain there and move it back. Freiermuth is the guilty party for the holding. As now Pittsburgh is going to have quite the big hole to try to dig out of here. So you're going to require Russell Wilson to throw, which I don't know if you want to do. Because so far, throwing the ball, he has not seemed particularly, good. So 2nd and 17 coming up here now for the Steelers. Russell Wilson is going to be under center. He's going to take that snap. He's looking to throw. He throws deep ball to the left side, and that is caught. Pickens with the catch. It was quite the contested catch. But it is caught. Big throw from Russell Wilson. And the Steelers now deep into Jets territory. As that catch was made on the 32-yard line there of the Jets. Big throw from Wilson, big catch from Pickens, and the Steelers are in business. That's going to be a handoff to Warren on 1st down. Gain of a couple. 2nd down coming up here for the Steelers. Yeah, no, T.J. Watt, Josh T.J. Watt is a phenomenon. He's an absolute revelation. He might end up being better than his brother, which is insane to think about. Long career to go if he can stay healthy, which is something his brother had a hard time doing. Russell Wilson with the play action, he's going to connect to Washington, and his big ass just starts bowling people over, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Steelers, as they are now moving the ball, and the Steelers all of a sudden starting to feel it. As they're already down at the 12-yard line now. So 1st and 10 for the Steelers from the 12. Washington's got 2 receptions for 33 yards. That's going to be a handoff to Najee, and Najee's going to get 5 yards. Maybe 6, depending on the spot. Indeed, Josh, Pittsburgh's got a little bit of that big momentum on their side right now. Big throw from Russell Wilson there on that third down. Really helped him. No. Nobody wants to see big number 80 come running down. Oh, Najee Harris. He is going to be stopped in the backfield for a very big loss. Mike Tomlin trying to argue something. I have no idea. Maybe saying forward momentum was stopped, but you can't give up until the echo of the whistle in this league. Let's see. No, I don't think he was down. So, yeah, the Jets still had to go and get him here. 3rd and 10. Russell Wilson, he's back. He's looking to throw to somebody. Nobody open. Throws out of bounds. And it'll be 4th and 10. So the Steelers got a little bit of momentum and then stalled out immediately. So not what you want to see if you're a Steelers fan. Steelers are going to settle for another field goal here. 8:24 left here in the second quarter. Boswell on for what should be a gimme. And not trying to do a broadcaster jinx, but, you know. Snap, hold, kick, up, and that is good. And we got a 1 point. Why did that not say? Come on. There we go. 7-6, 1 point game here in Sunday Night Football. My name is King, hanging out with you here on Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports for this Sunday night watch along. If you are watching along, come on into the chat. Come in, say hi, say hello. Chat's open. We got a lot of folks in there talking about just everything in general, especially football this week, how their teams did, how their teams didn't do, especially my Giants. Fucking Christ. Yeah, we got a lot of that going on here, so if you want to join us, again, chat is open. If you're not subscribed yet, please give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a share, give us all that fun stuff. That helps us out immensely, guys. You have no idea how much, again, with YouTube, trying to get the algorithm, trying to do all the other stuff. So that stuff helps immensely. If you want to help out a little more directly, we do have a link to our donation station in the top of the chat and also in the description below this video. And same goes for our merch store, which, again, if you're watching this game and you're a Steelers fan, we got new Steelers merch in the merch store. 8-bit helmet, shirt, and hoodie ready for your purchase. You can go there right now. Link, again, in the top of the chat and in the description below this video. Talking about people, like, who would you rather see? Would you rather see, like, Washington come running at you or, like, Travis Kelce? I feel like I'm 6'8", 300 pounds. I feel like I could take on Travis Kelce. You know, I feel like he's somebody that I could at least stop. Maybe I can't push back. Maybe I wouldn't, you know, truck stick him. But I feel like I could stop him. You know, I feel like I got good stopping power. But you got Darnell Washington coming your way. Like, even at my size, I got to worry about maybe getting run over. You know what I'm saying? Darnell Washington, 6'7", 264. That's a big dude. That's a big dude. ESPN Plus is ESPN's subscription, like kind of like Peacock or Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu Plus or whatever all the other pluses are. So it's their exclusive streaming platform. And I know they got, I think it's the Chargers and the Cardinals are going to be exclusively on there. First of all, I hate the 2 Monday night games. I think that's dumb. But then also to have one just exclusively on streaming, especially one that's kind of got no juice to it either. I don't know if they're just trying it out for something, but the numbers for that game are going to be low. Because it's Chargers and Cardinals, first of all, and then it's only on streaming. It's going to be not great. So kickoff returned here by the New York Jets down to, looks like the 26 27, close to where it would be if they just would have taken the touchback. But lands in the landing zone. You got to get it done. Dodgers up 4-1 now on the Mets. Uh-oh for your Mets fans there. Old Frank the Tank from Barstool is not going to be happy. And as you can tell, still, listen, I will always rep the Giants. I still do. I love my Giants. I will always root for the Giants, even if they fucking embarrassed the shit out of me today. 1st and 10 for the Jets from the 28-yard line. Aaron Rodgers back, looks, throws. He's going to connect to Davante Adams up to the 40-yard line. And that'll be a first down. So Rodgers and Davante kind of getting into a rhythm themselves again. Let's see, imagine the NFL had marching bands. That would be rather... a couple teams do. The Ravens do. I know Washington does. I think the Colts might too. I'm not sure. There's a couple that have like an actual marching band. I know Washington and Baltimore both are two of them. I would love that, to have a little bit more of like the college atmosphere. 1st and 10. It's going to be about a yard and a half there for Allen for the Jets. I'm a big proponent of having a march. I'm a big march. Well, again, I grew up in a family where my two of my sisters were in the flag line, and my brother played quads in the marching band. They were all part of the marching band and the flag line that all did the stuff. They did all the competitions like the CNBC and all the local stuff. So I get it. Like I like marching band. I like marching band music. Believe it or not, I'm kind of a weirdo in that sense. I also like bagpipe music. So go figure. I'm kind of a weirdo when it comes to that. But I would love that. I think that would be cool, where more NFL teams would have that, and more give NFL teams a fight song. That's going to be complete to Brees Hall. Oh, my God, and he's breaking it loose. And he's down to the Steelers 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, down to the 5, and pulled out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. 1st and goal coming up here for the Jets. What kind of just looked like a little drop down into the flat. Brees Hall broke it loose and got all the way down the field and was 3 yards away from scoring, as the Jets now 1st and goal from about the 3-yard line of the Steelers. My goodness. What an amazing run by Brees Hall. I'm just sitting here trying to talk about marching bands. Next thing you know, Brees Hall with a monster play. Monster play here for the Jets, as they mark the Jets indeed at the 3-yard line. 1st and goal. Aaron Rodgers, empty backfield, in shotgun. Takes a timeout as the play clock was expiring, and that will be the Jets' first timeout of the half. No, he has. He's in this game anyway. He hasn't been able to get going all year, and now you're starting to wonder if that really was Hackett and how bad he was. Because so far in the 2 games that the Jets have now played with Downing calling plays, the offense has looked more dynamic. It's looked better. It's looked crisper than it has in the previous 5 weeks with Hackett. So you got to at that point give it it's like, all right, that's working. That part is working. So we'll see here. Again, we still got 1st and goal after the timeout here by the Jets. Again, empty backfield. Aaron Rodgers in shotgun. Takes the snap. He looks for Davante. It's actually caught, though, out of bounds. Who was that? That was Charles with the reception, but just out of the back of the end zone. So incomplete. 2nd and goal coming up here for the Jets. I know that looked like it. Let's see. He catches it. Is the knee down? Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Did he maintain possession? The ball moves, but does I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. I'll say. 2nd and goal. It's going to be a handoff to Brees, and he spins around. Does he get in? The refs are saying no. They're saying he's short of the goal line. Now, they might say he's short too, but that would just be a mean thing to say to him while he's on the field. Let's see. He does the spin here. Not down, not down, not down, not down. Ooh, that's close. if you're the Jets, is there a clear enough view where you can challenge that? 3rd and goal. They're not going to. Here's the snap. Fakes the handoff. Aaron Rodgers just dumps it off to Conklin, and that's a touchdown for the Jets. So the Jets convert on 3rd and goal after that massive Breece Hall run. It looked like the official was going to say something there. I don't know what, though. Oh, he dropped it. Oh, he's trying to throw the challenge flag. So he was trying to challenge it, but the play was already done. So, boy, good thing he did. Snap, hold, kick is blocked. Extra point is blocked. It is no good. And we have a flag down, though. So, boy, just lots going on here. What do we got? What, are we saying leverage? Are we saying leverage here, Mr. Official, Mr. Line Judge, Mr. 45? Not that 45. He's up in the box. What's the call on the play? The Steelers special teamer is losing his mind. Tomlin losing his mind. Are they going to say leverage because he jumped over? Also, they kind of hit the center too. I don't think you're allowed to hit. Yeah, there was a touch. He did touch a Jet player as he jumped over. That technically is leverage. You can't touch the player when you jump over. And indeed, they did call leverage on Minkah Fitzpatrick. So the Jets are going to get another try here on the extra point. As the flag counter will go up to 4. Steelers special team coach is losing his mind, and he might be losing his gum. Oh, Jets are going for 2 now. Because of the half the distance of the goal penalty, now on the 1 yard line, Jets going for 2. Interesting. Aaron Rodgers takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throws, and that's going to be caught by Garrett Wilson. 2-point conversion is good. And the Jets now lead by 9, 15-6 here. So it is now a 2-possession lead for the Jets as they lead by 9 points, 15-6 here in the second quarter after a leverage call on the extra point kick. On Minkah Fitzpatrick. Dodgers are up 6-1, by the way. I think the Mets... Listen, you never know. I get it because, well, now it's a yard closer or anything like that, but I don't know. Like, I'm still... Maybe I'm just an old fuddy-duddy. But go for the extra point. Take the points where it's there. Like, you go for 2. Why go for 2 points? Like, why go for 2? I don't get it. Because now, here's the thing. If the Steelers get a touchdown and they get a 2-point conversion, now game's tied. With the 6 points. Or actually, no, they didn't even have to go for 2 points. If they just get a touchdown and an extra point, then the game's tied. So that you remove the 2-point conversion option for them. Like, if it would be 14. If it was 14-6, they score a touchdown. If they want to tie it, they can go for 2, but it makes it a little bit harder. Like, this is okay. Like, again, because it worked out, you're going to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, no, fine, it worked out, so it's fine, it's great." And I hindsight's always 20/20. It's always one of those things where it's like, oh my God, don't do that. Oh my God, don't do it. Oh, it worked? All right, good job. One of those situations. But me, I'm not sure. Like I would still do, I still would have kicked the extra point. Even if it's a yard close or whatever, I'd still kick the extra point. That's just me. It feels like I'm low here. Let me put myself higher here a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. That's a little better. I was looking a little low on the screen. I don't like that. Again, thank you so much for watching us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. If you're watching along and aren't in the chat yet, what are you doing? Come on in the chat. Come in and say hi, hello, how you doing? How's your football team doing? How's your fantasy team doing? How about that? We talk about fantasy football. We talk about any of that. Speaking of which, ELS just dropped in. Breece Hall's got 24.9 fantasy points currently if you're in a fantasy league. So wouldn't be bad to have today as he's put up some points there. And somebody's got him. Somebody out there has got him. And it's just like, hey, I'm glad I picked him up. Or somebody's got him on the bench, and they're like, son of a bitch, should have started him. I think if you're a Steelers fan, you think that, Pecan. I don't know if Tomlin's thinking that. Maybe he should be. But you have to... you'd have to think, like, if he doesn't... Now, again, on the last drive, he did well. He had that nice big long pass there to Pickens, but then they stalled in the red zone in the goal-to-goal situation there when they had to kick a field goal. Like, if you can do big plays, that's fine, but you still got to get better at the smaller plays, the minutia. And we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Russell Wilson, oh, boy. He does get it away, though. He gets it to Freiermuth, and Freiermuth pulls it all the way up to the Jets. And the Jets ain't getting him down as he gets past the Jets' 40-yard line. As they are now set up at around the 39-yard line of the Jets. One play in what looked like it might have been broken. But you get big old Muse running there in Pittsburgh. And again, that's another tight end that you don't want to see coming at you at full speed, which granted is not very fast, but he's very heavy and he is very big. So from the 40 is where they mark it now. 1st and 10, Russell Wilson, play action. We got a flag that's going to be holding on the Steelers. Pass is incomplete. But we got a flag. Flag number goes up, and actually they're going to call illegal man downfield. That penalty is declined, and then there's holding. So there's actually 2 flags on the play, so that goes up again. Flag. Also, I don't know if I said this enough, especially in the earlier stream with the Giants and Eagles. I hate the 1 yard illegal man downfield space rule. Put that back to what it used to be, which I believe was 3. It was either 3 or 5. I can't remember exactly. I believe it was the 3-yard cushion, though. Get that back. We need that 3-yard cushion for these linemen back. The 1 yard thing before it's illegal man downfield is taking away so many plays that have nothing to do with a guard or a tackle blocking somebody, and they happen to have their big-ass feet over the yard line. It's dumb. Russell Wilson, big pass down the field, intended for Pickens, incomplete. It looked like he might have been up looking for a flag, but he's not getting it. Vera Tucker for the Jets is going to the locker room as he appears to be injured. Not great for the Jets' offensive line, which is already not great as it is. I got my nice little apple pie here. I haven't even eaten any yet. Man, if Pickens would have come up with that catch, that would have been a hell of a catch. That would have been a SportsCenter top 10 one. 4:32 left here in the second quarter. 2nd and 20 coming up here for the Steelers from the 50-yard line. Russell Wilson, he's going to go down at the 45-yard line, sacked by McDonald. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Russ was not loving it, as it is now 3rd down and 25 for the Steelers, as Justin Fields is just staring daggers out into the field. Great shot from NBC, whoever grabbed that one. Justin Fields just staring daggers. 3rd and 24 actually for the Steelers. That's going to be thrown to Pickens. He makes a good catch, but he gets teamed up on, and that is going to be all he gets. And he's going to be fairly short, as it's going to be 4th and 15 as he stopped at the Jets' 45-yard line. ELS love the facts and the stats and the random shit. This is amazing. This is a great little nugget here. ELS in the chat letting us know that exactly 50 years ago, to this day, was the last time that the Detroit Lions beat a 5-0 team. And that day, they also beat the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings, as the punt is down at the 5-yard line. And that is where Aaron Rodgers and the Jets will take over after that drive, which was starting promising for the Steelers, but then fizzled out rather quickly. And that was a good punt. Pat McAfee's got an erection right now. So yeah, it's kind of funny how stats work out like that. That not only is it exactly 50 years ago to the day that the Lions beat their last 5-0 team, but that it indeed was also the Minnesota Vikings, in which they did so back in 1974. Which is kind of weird to think that 1974 is 50 years ago. Back when I was growing up, when I heard 50 years ago, I always thought like 1950s and shit. And now, you're thinking it's right there. The thing that makes me think about it is Back to the Future. When I watched Back to the Future as a kid, and it's like, yeah, he went 30 years back in time from 1985 to 1955. And it's like, oh man, that's crazy. And then he went 30 years into the future to 2015, which again is crazy to think about. And now we're thinking about if Marty McFly was living today and went back 30 years in time, like he did in that one, he'd be in 1994. And all of a sudden, I feel like I should just be in a coffin. I should just bury me already. I feel like I should be dead. Time keeps on moving, baby. Time just keeps on moving. What do we got here? Again, ELS dropping some more knowledge in the chat. If you want to come into the chat, say hi, say hello, say how you're doing, and see some of the great stats that ELS is hearing. Or if you want to discuss some of it, if you want to drop your own stats, you got your own ideas, your own thoughts about your football, what football happened today, what your football team did or didn't do, come on into the chat. It's open. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how are you doing. Head coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters the team is where, yes, I already mentioned that Ayuk is feared to have torn his ACL. Rams head coach Sean McVay said that he expects Cooper Kupp to play on Thursday night upcoming against Minnesota, in which case the Rams would desperately need him against that team. Josh, whoa, what happened? Jets had a blocked PAT called for leverage, and that got 50. Yeah, they went for a 2-point conversion, Josh. And after the blocked point after, since it's a half the distance of the goal penalty, so it moves it to the 1-yard line, they decided, screw it, let's go for 2 points. And they got it. So instead of 14-6, well, with the block for leverage, if the block had counted, it would have been 13. And then instead of going for just the 1 point, they went for 2, got 15. So there we go, 15-6, 9-point game. 2-possession game for the Jets as they take over now at the 5-yard line. Pecan, they need to be worried about Purdy throwing interceptions in the red zone. Yeah, man, he's got Purdy's. But we're seeing that with a lot of quarterbacks this year. Pitch off to Breece Hall here, and he's going to get about 3 yards on the carry. Like I mentioned before, Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions than touchdown passes. No quarterback this year really looks dynamic, super, the prestige. None of them look really super great like you would expect. At least with passing the ball. Again, Lamar looks good, but he looks good running the ball. Like, again, Lamar still has a lot of problems pushing that ball downfield. He does. That is what it is. And if that's his game, then that's his game. But he plays, don't, again, this is the problem I have with Daboll and Daniel Jones. Stop trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Work with what your players do best and what fits for them. And like I said, for Lamar, that's not throwing the ball down the field. That's working it. That's going to be thrown. Caught! Lazard with the catch up at the 30-yard line for the Jets. That's going to be a first down as Aaron Rodgers and the Jets get a little breathing room, and they get a fresh set of downs here. and the waning moments here of the second quarter. But yeah, overall, the quarterback play this year has not been mind-blowing as it has been in years past. Like people were talking about, which quarterback's going to break 5,000 yards passing? Or which quarterback's who's going to have, is somebody going to break the 50 touchdown mark again? Or whatever. Those conversations are not happening this year. It's been a lot more run-centric league so far in the first 7 weeks. Quarterback play has been iffy at best across the board. Even the good quarterbacks are not playing to what we would expect their standard to be when it comes to Mahomes, when it comes to Brock Purdy, when it comes to Josh Allen, like not playing super crisp, super great football. So I don't know how to take that. If that's a trend, if it's an anomaly, how would you perceive it? Again, I happen to think that the game of football is very cyclical, and it always is, and it will always be. You'll get running game, and then it'll go to passing game, and passing game becomes the big thing. It's like, is running game over? Then it'll go back to running game, and again, it depends on how you. It'll always be a response to the other, because the better you get at a passing game, well, then teams are going to get faster cornerbacks and work on cornerbacks and faster edge rushers and people to try to get to the quarterback and disrupt the passing. And then once a team figures out, well, they're light up front and they don't have anybody that can really stop a run. So then you get big backs and heavy offensive linemen, and you start pushing people around, and you get a heavy run game, and then other people copy that. And then other teams, to stop that, will then start getting bigger linemen and start building up on that, and better linebackers, and even bigger and thicker cornerbacks to come in on blitzes and to cause hits and to stop runs. And then once teams figure that out, then they'll go back to trying to do faster passing play. Like it always seems to be an ebb and flow with the NFL, going between passing and rushing and passing and rushing and passing and rushing. And I think right now we're kind of in that rushing area of the NFL where that it's a bit of a trend now going towards rushing. 6-3, Mets making a little bit of a comeback there. Thank you, Pecan, for that update. Let's see here. Hamster, crazy seeing Christmas commercials. Yeah, I know. We're not even on Halloween yet. Let me get my spooks first. I want spooks before we start getting all holly jolly shit. Joe Burrow has 14 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. No, Joe Burrow's actually been pretty good. But his team's... That's the problem, is that Joe Burrow's played at a very good level. Just everything else around him is fucking terrible. So, again, they got to win against the Browns today, so now they've got 3 wins. So they're heading in a positive direction. But again, it took them into the second half until they got an actual offensive touchdown. Their only touchdown for the first half of the game was the opening kickoff touchdown. So again, that's something to worry about when it comes to the Bengals. Baseball, I get into postseason baseball. Baseball, I love like the opening month of baseball, and I love postseason baseball. But that 162 games in the middle is so fucking boring. Like, it's hard to get into. It really is. Summer is still a very dead month and dead time of sports for me. Because you're like, you can watch baseball, and it's like watching baseball on TV sucks. It does. Going to a baseball game is great. Don't get me wrong. I love watching baseball at a baseball game. Sit, relax, have a couple beers, talk with some people. It's great. 2nd and 4 are coming up here for the Jets, by the way. That's great, but man, like baseball in July and August, like, whoa, man, that's a slog. That's a real slog. 2nd and 4 coming up here for the Jets from the 35-yard line. Aaron Rodgers back, looks, throws down the field. That's going to be intercepted. That is intercepted by the Steelers, as I had forgotten to move the possession arrow. So I'll move it to the Jets because they did have it. And now I'll go right back to the Steelers as Aaron Rodgers throws an interception just as we were talking about quarterback play. Aaron Rodgers looks like he was trying to force it in there to Davante and just forced it a little too hard, which is something you usually say about Deshaun Watson. But here it's Aaron Rodgers. Actually, it was to Garrett Wilson. Sorry about that. Was the intended receiver. And Bishop gets a hand in there. Looked like maybe tried to just break up the play, but then he's able to hold on to the ball. Makes a hell of a interception. And now the Steelers have the ball at their own 46-yard line. So we have a chance here for Russell Wilson with 1:15 left here in the half. Wilson throws. It's going to be caught and a first down to the Jets' 44-yard line. 1st and 10. Clock is ticking. We are at 1 minute now. Again, a lot of time coming off the clock here. Now under 50 seconds. Russell Wilson takes the snap. Hands it off. And that's going to be a gain of 3 yards. And the Steelers will take a timeout. They're first of the half. And there seems like there was a little extracurricular activity there, but we don't see anything now happening. So they've calmed it down. 43 seconds left here in the second quarter. Just the Great Basketball is entertaining because most of the time it's nail-biting game finishers. Basketball in the regular season too is kind of, if you tune in for the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, you'll see the whole game. Like that's, you watch it, trying to watch NBA basketball especially. Like I'm not a huge NBA guy. I like college basketball, especially in March. Clearly, gotta love March Madness. I'm a big hockey guy. That's one of my big things. But I mean, I can watch basketball if nothing else is on. Oh, Russell Wilson, big ball down the field. They're going to throw a flag for pass interference against Sauce Gardner. And Sauce is a little slow to get up here. They're going to say he never looked back, and he kind of nodded back, but not really. I guess that's... Oh, well, back in the day, man, you had Charles Barkley, you had Ewing and John Starks and the Knicks, especially around here. Even in the early 2000s here, we had the New Jersey Nets went to 2 straight finals, Jason Kidd. Like, that was exciting times here for that. And then they moved to Brooklyn. I don't give a shit anymore. So, you're gonna move. Oh, you want to move to Brooklyn? You want to get away from Jersey and play in a really kind of shitty arena in the middle of Brooklyn, whose stands are so steep, even a Sherpa has a problem climbing them. Yeah, all right, fine, whatever. I have fun. But yeah, man, back in the day, you had Barkley playing with the Suns and the Sixers and all that. You had the Jordan years. You had the net battles between him and the Knicks. Those early years with the Knicks and the Heat with Alonzo Mourning down there. Like it was like 90s basketball was good. 90s basketball was fun to watch. 1st and 10 now from the 11 after that pass interference penalty. Russell Wilson almost gets sacked, gets away, throws it at the feet of Warren, and that's going to be incomplete. 2nd and 10, 32 seconds left coming up here. As Mike Tomlin looks on. I would really love the Steelers to fire him so the Giants can hire him immediately. Here we go, 2nd and 10. Wilson is in shotgun, takes a snap, back, looks, throws, corner of the end zone. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Pickens. And the Steelers are right back into this game. Capitalizing on the Rodgers interception. With 27 seconds left in the first quarter. As the Steelers will go for a field goal here to make it a 2-point game. Well, not a field goal, an extra point. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Snap, hold, kick, up. And it is good. And that's not what it's supposed to be. There we go. And there she is. 15-13, 2-point game. Here in Pittsburgh. Hamster says, good catch. Indeed it was, Hamster. Indeed it was. Pickens looking good. Steelers got 2 touchdowns here. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I think Russell Wilson has played well enough to play the rest of the game at least and see where you go from here if you're the Steelers. I don't think Justin Fields gets you any better or any worse in this situation than where you are right now. So I'm willing to say that. I think I'll say that as a fair assessment. If you have Justin Fields in there, you're no better off and you're no worse off than the 13 points that you have right now. As the Steelers crowd getting jacked, here we go. Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. I spent a lot of time in Northeast PA. Big, huge Steelers presence in Northeast Pennsylvania. Around the Wilkes-Barre area. So you kind of hear that shit everywhere. Jets going to return this kickoff to about the 20. And my man there, I don't know who that was, Banks, nearly gets decapitated. As now the Steelers are feeling it a little bit. Will the Jets just kneel on it? Yes, Russell can totally. I mean, I'll tell you what, Pecan, he's not played terribly in this first half. Has he played great? No, but he hasn't played terribly. I'll pass out there as a screen to Garrett Wilson. That's going to be caught, but a loss of about 3 yards. And the clock is just going to run out here on the first half. So we're going to end the first half here with the Steelers touchdown to get within 2. The Jets still lead 15-13 here on Sunday Night Football. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports as we're watching along here. My name is King. This is our second game of the day. The first game we watched was the Giants and Eagles, and I would like to profusely apologize for making anybody who watched that game watch through that absolute war crime. That was terrible, and we apologize. I suffered through it, but you shouldn't have to. But we still did anyway, as the Giants lost 28-3 in embarrassing fashion to the Philadelphia Eagles. It's like when Dumb and Dumber traded. Just when I think you couldn't do anything more stupid, you've gone and done this. And totally redeemed yourself. And there it is. Again, he's, like I said, has he played gangbusters? Has he played, oh my God, clearly so much better? No, he hasn't. But has he played bad enough to be benched? No. I think he's played well enough to where you're like, we're not any worse off or better off if we had Fields in there. And that's I think you would want to see better, and maybe you'll see that in the second half. But he's thrown some decent deep balls. A lot of them have connected to Pickens there, and the one was pass interference, so that's as good as a catch. So we'll see. Dolly in the chat, who do you think will play better during the second half of this game? Well, again, that's hard to tell. We'll see. If the Steelers kind of bring some of that momentum with them, it could be. And it depends. Can Aaron Rodgers shake that last mistake off at the end of the half and play a little better? Maybe. But like we had mentioned before, man, the quarterback play this year across the board has been weird. Almost weak. It's been a weak quarterback year. So it's hard to really tell, what a quarterback's going to do, honestly, from series to series, let alone half to half or game to game. As we said, right now the quarterback for the current only undefeated team in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, has more interceptions than touchdowns. Yet they're undefeated. And you would sit there and still say that Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but the numbers say otherwise. And then you have somebody like Joe Burrow, who was brought up has, I believe, 14 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions, but they were just 2 weeks ago 1-5. And now they've beaten a bad Giants team, which they were very close to losing to, by the way. Which, again, if you're the Bengals, should give you very big pause after today's game. And then you beat up on a bad Browns team. So, yeah, it's good to get those wins, and your quarterback's playing great, but what else is, there's so many other things wrong there. So, again, I think quarterbacks get way too much credit. I think they get way too much blame. Football is the quintessential team sport, where no matter how good your quarterback can play great, and you can still lose. Like I think about Archie Manning back in the 60s and 70s there with the Saints. Great quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And I don't think he ever played in a playoff game because the Saints were just awful in every other aspect of their franchise. Bad running backs, bad defense, bad wide receivers, bad offensive line, all that shit. But he was still one of the best quarterbacks ever. So, a lot of people like to put up those numbers like, oh, well, this quarterback won this game, and this quarterback was able to do this and go. It's like a quarterback is part of it. A quarterback can be a very big part of it, but they're not the be-all, end-all when it comes to winning and losing. Pecan in the chat says, I believe this game is going to go down to the wire. I feel you on that one. I feel like this one's going to be another one of those maybe last-second field goal games where it's a 2-point or 1-point win. I could see that. As we see some highlights here from Peacock about Sunday's game. I don't want to see any. I don't want to see any from the Giants game. I'm actually going to eat some of this apple pie finally. Jesus. But I sit here all the time. I'm very, very hungry. I want my dessert. I have my coffee. That goes better than apple pie coffee. I'm getting a little food in here. Let's see what else is going on. Let's check the old Twitter X, see what's happening. Just still have the lead. Let's see. Interception. Just a lot about Pickens and his catch and the interception. Man, I got way too many NFL things on here. Again, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. If you'd like, and I think you would, come into the chat. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing. Chat is open for everybody. If you like what you're watching, please give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. Helps us out tremendously. You guys have no idea how much that helps, and we thank you so very much for doing so. If you want to help us out more directly, we have links for our donation station and our merch store, both in the top of the chat and in the description down below this video. Again, you can help us out directly, again, with just a donation. Or if you want to check out some of the goods we have in the merch store, we have brand new Pittsburgh Steelers gear in there with the 8-bit helmet, shirt, and hoodie. Comes in gold, comes in black, and comes in athletic gray. If you want to just go that route, that is all available there, along with so many other options, and more options being added every single week. We got Seahawks stuff in there, we got Packers stuff, we got Giants, Eagles, Washington football team, Redskins Commanders, all that kind of stuff in there. So go check it out. Link, again, in the top of the chat and in the description below. Cowboys and 49ers play next Sunday night, and one of them has to take another loss, says Hampstead in the chat. And, yeah, that's going to be see, those games are kind of fun, though, because those are desperation games. So you're like, neither one of these teams is that great. You know, they're all kind of struggling. Who's going to, like, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, each team is desperate for a win. Who grabs it? Because somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. And I think whoever loses that game is in serious trouble. Like, I think they're in trouble already. Like, you're honestly already in trouble with the way both of those teams are. But the Cowboys lose another game. Now you're talking about some bad times. And the Niners, again, their division isn't any great shakes right now. But you want to be able to at least keep pace until maybe you get some other your pieces healthy, and you can try to piece together maybe a winning streak later on in the second half of the season. But if you lose against the Cowboys, that's going to put a bit of a damper on your attempts to do that. So, interesting. That's going to be a very interesting game next week, Ham. So I agree with you. Let me check. What do we got going on in... Here, still 6-3 Dodgers over the Mets. We are at the top of the sixth. You know what? For shits and giggles, let's take a look what's going on with that WNBA Finals. 135 left in the game, 58-58 between the Lynx and the Liberty. Let's see if there at least one New York team can play well on this Sunday and bring home something. Well, I mean, the Jets aren't playing badly, so I'll say that. Jets aren't playing badly. Not nearly as bad as the Giants. And the Mets are still only 3 runs down, which in this series with the Dodgers is not a lot. Let's see, Hamster, what made you a Giants fan? If Atlanta had 2 teams, I just vote for both of them. And I root for the Jets too. Don't get that wrong. I do root for the Jets. I do like the Jets. They're my second team for being in the area. When I was growing up, the Giants were either at 1 o'clock and the Jets were at 4, or vice versa. The Jets were at 1, the Giants were at 4, whatever the case was. So I grew, but my father was a Giants fan, so I grew up as a Giants fan. That's not to necessarily say that we all did. Again, I have I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers, and I had a brother who grew up as a Redskins fan, and I had a sister who grew up as a Cowboys fan. And then my other brother and other sister grew up as Giants fans, and then I came along, and I stayed on that Giants train. And plus, when I was real little, the Giants, I was around 5 or 6 when I was actually 5 with Super Bowl 21, where the Giants went and beat Denver at the Rose Bowl, which I remember vaguely, with Phil Simms, Joe Morris, and them going ahead and beat the Broncos. So I remember that as a kid. And then obviously Super Bowl 25 against the Bills and wide right. So I remember that. So that's kind of where I got into it and was just a Giants fan from then on. Then we had the bad years in the 90s. Made a Super Bowl with Kerry Collins there in 2000, which was cool. But then lost that to Baltimore, which is why I think I still hold a grudge against Baltimore to this day. Then the rest of the 2000s was kind of bad. We did get Eli Manning, and those first couple of years were iffy with him. Then we had 2007, a magical year. Pulled that off. So that's I ended up. I guess the answer to the question is I just kind of grew up watching the Giants, and the Giants were good. Big Blue Wrecking Crew, Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks, Leonard Marshall, Benson on the offensive line, Jim Burt, Phil Simms, Joe Morris, Lionel Manuel, Phil McConkey, Mark Bavaro. Come on. Like, how was I supposed to not? I grew up in North Jersey here, in the Bayonne, Jersey City area, which is only about a half an hour away from the Meadowlands, if you drive the turnpike. So, again, it's what I grew up with. And again, I didn't grow up hating the Jets. And that's something that I've noticed around here, is there's a lot of Jet fans that hate the Giants, or there's some kind of perceived, like, big brother, little brother rivalry, and I never saw that. Like, to me, it's always been like, I pull for both teams. Unless the Jets are playing the Giants, I pull for the Jets. I do like the Jets. So that's how I've always approached it. there are other fans around here that are Giants fans purely and say F the Jets and F their fans and all the other stuff, and vice versa. There are Jet fans that obviously hate the Giants and, oh my God, how can you do that? You can't like both teams. But, again, the Giants and Jets play each other once every 3 years. Who gives a shit, Or every 4 years now, I'm sorry, because there's 4 divisions now. So once every 4 years, that's even more. Once every presidential cycle, once every voting cycle, the Giants and Jets play. Who gives a shit? Like, that's not enough for a rivalry for me. There's not a history of a rivalry there. There's not anything, Again, these guys play a preseason game every day for a Snoopy trophy. It's not exactly hard-hitting rivalry. As we see the Steelers celebrating the Super Bowl IX championship team. Mean Joe Green. As we get ready for the third quarter to start here. And the kick to the Jets is going to be a touchback. So there we go. Third quarter underway. Jets will have the possession ball. There we go. Yes, I didn't know if you were allowed to be fans of both up there. There are some people who will poo-poo it and say no. But, again, there's other, to me, it's not the same way. Like, again, Devils fan here. If somebody said they were a Devils fan and a Rangers fan, you beat the shit out of them. There's no, how? No, you don't be a Devils fan and a Rangers fan. That's two teams that hate each other with the passion and fury of 1,000 suns. That doesn't happen. First down, and we got a flag before anything happens. Full start on the Jets. But for someone like the Jets and Giants, again, they don't play enough to be a rival in that sense of the term. So I don't do that. Yankees and Mets, I think, has a little bit more since they started interleague. What was that, 20, 25 years ago? So they actually do play twice a year. So there's maybe a little bit more now. But that's another one where I never really saw too much of it. Aaron Rodgers throws. It's going to be caught by Garrett Wilson at the 42-yard line, and that's where he will be downed. First down, New York Jets after the 5-yard penalty. But yeah, for that's for football, and even for baseball. Again, I kind of, before the Subway Series in 2000, I rooted for both the Yankees and Mets, believe it or not. And then I saw, and as a Yankees fan, to say this, I know it's going to sound really oxymoronic, but man, the absolute obnoxiousness of Mets fans really turned me off to the Mets after that series. Again, I know that sounds weird coming from a Yankees fan, calling another fan base obnoxious, but the Mets fans are obnoxious and obnoxiously so. They're double obnoxious. That's just my observation. When it comes to hockey, the three teams around this area hate each other. None more so than the Devils and Rangers and Islanders and Rangers. I think that's a pretty equal hatred across the board there. And the Devils and Islanders, I don't think hate each other quite to that extent, but there's a bit of a rivalry there, especially because Long Island says they have better bagels and pizza than Jersey, which is just an absurd fucking statement to make. Second and 10, throw across the middle there. It's going to be again complete to Wilson. That's going to be just past the 50-yard line. Third and short coming up here for the Jets. As a Braves fan, I know how bad Mets fans can be. He says, I was going to say, and again, I'm a Yankees fan, so I know the obnoxiousness that comes with being a Yankees fan. We're always like, 27 World Championships. Woo, can't touch us. We're the Yankees. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, suck our head. I get it. I know we're obnoxious. But man, Met fans are. Oh, Eagles. Oh, don't even get me started on fucking Eagles fans. Aaron Rodgers attempts to get it to Davante Adams on 3rd and 2. Cannot get it a connection. It's going to be 4th and 2, and the Jets are going to punt the ball. They were kind of in that no man's land there, but they are going to decide to punt it. As again, the Jets' offensive line fails. That's a real problem that they have not fixed yet, is that offensive line there for the New York Jets. So, the Jets' first possession of the second half ends with a punt, and it's going to be returned up to about the 22-yard line for the Steelers, and that is where they will take over, and Russell Wilson will try to go ahead and take the lead in this game. 12:41 currently here in the third quarter. If you want to sync up with us here on Stay Tuned Sports, my name is Gang. Thank you so much for joining us here and watching along. If you want to come in and chat, come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing, how's your football team, how's your fantasy team doing, anything like that, any thoughts that you have on the world of sport, on the world of your sport, on the world of your football team, whatever it is, coming in, say hi. If you like what you're watching, please give us a subscribe. Also, wouldn't hurt to give us a like and share us around like your favorite STD. That will, again, help us out tremendously. You guys have no idea how much that helps, and I thank everybody who has done so already. If you want to help us out more directly, we have a link directly for our donation station and our merch store at the top of the chat, which is another reason to come jump in the chat, say hi, say hello. We have the links up there as well as below in the description underneath this video over on YouTube. So thank you so much for everybody who is with us. Hamster in the chat. That's all. Yeah, Philadelphia, as it's like, again, I don't know if anybody, I have a short that's currently on YouTube from our pick segment this past Friday on the Friday forecast, where I kind of just let it be known my particular feelings about the Eagles fans, the city of Philadelphia in general. I hate the city of Philadelphia. Not just the sports teams. I hate the city, the entire city of Philadelphia. Philadelphia and its outlying outskirts. That includes southern New Jersey. And I'm a Jersey guy. I love New Jersey. I love my state. But South Jersey those bunch of hicks down there can eat shit. I can't stand Philadelphia. I can't stand their fans. I can't stand their teams. Philadelphia, oh, we're green and white. No, you're not. You wear teal. The Eagles wear teal. They want to try and say, oh, it's midnight green. Bullshit. It's dark teal. Actually, look it up. It's actual dark teal color instead of green. The Flyers are just, oh, we're the Broad Street Bullies. You haven't been a bully since 1975. What are you talking about? You haven't won a cup in 50 years. Shut the fuck up. The Phillies, again, baseball is what it is, but even the Phillies, like, go screw. I don't care. And the Sixers are, trust the process. Yeah, trust that process to, nowheresville. The second round of the playoffs. That's all you guys do. And still, they're loud. And the worst thing that ever happened in the world was the Eagles winning a Super Bowl in 2017. That was the worst thing that ever happened. Because those guys never shut up now. And again, the guy I do this channel with, Jimbo, he's a huge Eagles fan. And we're best friends. I love the guy to death. He's a great guy. But, God, I can't stand Eagles fans. I can't stand Eagles fans. My best friend's an Eagles fan, but I can't stand Eagles fans. So it's weird. It's another one of those weird dichotomies. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Russell Wilson under center. Najee Harris in the backfield. Snap. It's going to be a handoff to Najee Harris, and he's going to gain about 3 yards on the carry. 2nd and 7 coming up here for the Steelers. Pecan. Only problem I have with Grassi is that they talked about everything but football. Hey, listen, here's the thing. I don't mind talking about other subjects. I really don't. I enjoy, though, like, here it is. We're a sports talk channel. That's what we do. So I would prefer to talk about sports in general, and then football, obviously. Russell Wilson on 2nd and 7 tries to get away. Are they going to call that a fumble? No, they're saying incomplete pass. Arm was moving forward. Incomplete pass as he was tripped up as he tried to just get rid of that ball. So 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Steelers. I don't mind it. Like, honestly, I don't. If you want to talk about, like, oh, there's a TV show I like, or especially during a bad game. Like Pecan, if I could have talked about anything today other than watching the Giants and Eagles, I would have. Like, so if there's a bad game going on and you want to talk about, the Penguin or the Fallout series or whatever, that's fine. And that's the other thing, too. I get that here on 3rd and 7. Russell Wilson going to throw deep. He's got Pickens. And catches it on the rebound, and he does. And he almost drops it, and then he catches it again. Oh, my God. What? Pickens absolutely showing superstar levels of concentration and ability here. As that is a massive... It's knocked away by... It hits the Jets player's shoulder. Bounces in the air. Pickens then grabs it. Then it's ripped away from him again. And then he still holds on to it and is able to maintain control. My God. You can't help but be impressed. You can't help but be impressed by that. That's beautiful. So now at the 39-yard line of the Jets, Russell Wilson back. Play action. Throws over to Washington. It's going to be good for 1 yard. Pecan in the chat. The only problem I had was Grossi again talked about everything but football, and that's not Grossi's fault. It was the super chat question. And I guess that's the other thing too, is like when you have people paying you money to basically chat with you and ask you questions, which we're not at that level yet, so we can't even do super chats or get any kind of monetization yet. Which is why I ask for the donations if anybody can. That'd be nice. Then you're kind of beholden. You do have to kind of talk and answer those questions. Hand off here to Najee, and he's going to get maybe 5 yards on a carry. So I get that, where you're kind of almost beholden to the people who are paying to talk to you. But that's where you kind of have to make that separation and be like, listen, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the donation. But, like, especially if it's a good game. If it's a good game, it's like where you got to be like, listen, we can do that at a later date. We'll do that during, like he has his question and answer sessions, like on Friday nights, which would be something I would love to kind of do and copy from that. I would definitely rip him off. Come on. Russell Wilson floating a pass, and that's going to be caught. Freiermuth with everybody's just got the George Pickens hands all of a sudden. For the Steelers, as they are moving the ball, players are making absolutely spectacular catches. Freiermuth now with the catch. Whoo, doggy. But yeah, to the point I was saying, like that's something that like you'd have to be able to be like, listen, I thank you for the super chat, I thank you for the donation, but this is too close of a game and too good of a game to be talking about, other topics, and to do that at another time. If it's a bad game, at some point I would probably love to have the super chats to talk about anything else. Warren there with the carry on first down, and he gets it all the way to the 2-yard line. It's going to be another first down and first and goal coming up here for the Steelers. And Pittsburgh marching down the field. Again, Pickens with a big catch. Freiermuth with a circus-like catch. And the Steelers now knocking on the doorstep. Looking to take the lead. Warren in the backfield. Wilson takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Warren, and that's going to be no gain. Second and goal coming up for the Steelers from the 3-yard line. Dolly in chat said, I hope the Jets win, but the Steelers are cutting it very close. Still early. We're still early in the third quarter. 8:23 and counting here. If you want to sync up, we are 8:20, 8:19, 8:18, 8:17, 8:16. If you want to go ahead and sync up as we're watching along here. And again, thank you so much for watching along with us. If you are, my name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. And we thank you immensely. WNBA Finals games in overtime, by the way. Just a quick setup on that. Russell Wilson takes the snap, backs, throws. That's going to be incomplete. Pickens tried making a catch, but he was out of bounds. Matched up there against Sauce Gardner as those two are having a little bit of a chat with each other. Would have been a hell of a catch, and Pickens did catch the ball, but he was just already out of bounds by the time he maintained control. Third and goal coming up here for Russell Wilson and the Steelers, looking to convert on what has been a massive drive. Play clock under 5. Takes the snap, back, looks, cannot find anybody open, throws, incomplete. As a receiver fell down for the Steelers, they were looking for a flag, but instead the referees do not throw the flag. 4th and goal coming up for the Steelers Will they go for it, or will they just go for the field goal to go up by 1? Incidental contact. The feet kind of got messed up there, so that's not really pass interference. So Boswell made from 46 and 29. This one's going to be like an old school extra point here. 21-yard field goal. The kick is up, and it is good, and the Steelers take a 1-point lead over the New York Jetropolitans. 16-15 here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Pecan in the chat, if Wilson pulls this off, Steeler fans will be like, Fields. Yeah, I was going to say, all of a sudden everybody's going to go from like, oh, you can't be pulling Fields from this game or anything like that, to then it'll be like, yeah, maybe we should have been starting him from the beginning. He's not bad. You know, like, it's funny how fans do kind of turn real quick on that. Dolly in the chat. Just go for the field goal. It's too risky. Yeah, no, that's a smart move. Take the points. And that's the other thing that, like, you see a lot of coaches these days. I cost Staley his job there with the Chargers. You see Sirianni did a lot of that shit early on. It's like, if you have the points, take the points. Take the points. Always take the points because you can always build off the points. Yes, the lure of getting the 6 or the 7 with the extra point, that's always there. You're always going to, ooh, big touchdown points. Oh, it's always going to, you know, it's like playing Madden. Oh, there's a touchdown. It's right here. Touchdown. You want to get that touchdown. But sometimes you have to be like, listen, if you don't get that touchdown, it can change the game drastically in the other direction. Take the points, take the field goal, build off that. ELS back in the chat here says the Steelers are finding their groove. And indeed, I'll tell you what, Russell Wilson has played not terribly in this game. He has played not terribly. Hamster in the chat, Rodgers going crazy with them smelling salts or whatever was in that bottle. Could be smelling salts. You could be ayahuasca. Could be any number of things. You know, listen, that guy needs to see, you know, the fourth dimension. And maybe that's why he's been such a great quarterback his whole career. He's been, you know, just tripping balls in these games, and he just sees everything in 4-dimensional. Like, everybody else is trying to play in our 3 dimensions, and meanwhile, he's playing 4D chess with everybody. And he's just like, whoa, cool trails, man. Like, I don't know. He's weird. He's one of those weird ones. Like, you know, just he's a one-of-one individual. He's a real out there kind of hippie. Real, listen, knowing that he went to Cal Berkeley, not a shock. Like, you look at Aaron Rodgers and look at, you know, all the things he talks about and the conspiracy theory stuff and all the other stuff that he does, and obviously with the ayahuasca and the elevated mental state and all that kind of stuff. So like, oh, he went to Cal Berkeley? Kind of no shit, right? As we got some Jets fans there at Heinz, I'll be dead in the ground before I'll ever call it Acrisure Stadium. As the Steelers getting ready to kick off here to the Jets after taking a 1-point lead on the field goal. And that kick is going to be taken at the 2-yard line, returned by the Jets, and returned to the 23-yard line, where my man is buried by the Steelers. So the Jets looking to get back into some kind of groove here. They had a pretty decent first half where Breece Hall was really making some moves. They got to try to get back into that bit of a rhythm, if you will. As we're looking at some Breece Hall highlights here from the first half. So from the 23-yard line, Rodgers in shotgun takes the snap. He's going to be looking to throw. Tries to throw it to Breece Hall out of the backfield, way too out in front of him. And that's incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up here for Rodgers and the Jets. You take a look at TJ Watt. Has yet to really have an impact in this game as he normally does, but the game's not over yet, so we'll see what old Tej has got in store. Which I figured with this Jets offensive line, he'd get a lot more work back there, but Breece Hall out wide. Lazar moves in. Everybody set. Empty backfield for the Jets. 1 on the play clock. He gets it off. Rodgers throws down the field on the left side. That's going to be tipped in the air. and intercepted by the Steelers. Oh, no. And that's going to be returned. Still on his feet all the way down. Oh, and he's still on his feet all the way down to the 1 yard line. And it'll be 1st and goal Steelers on the interception. He threw it to Garrett Wilson. Wilson bounced it off his chest up into the air and right into the waiting hands. Was that Bishop again? Oh, well, how do you can't, that is not an Aaron Rodgers interception. That is what, I forget who it was. Is it Schrager who wanted to come up with or is it Greenberg? I forget who it was, wanted to come up with the receiver-caused interception, RCI, receiver-caused interception stat. Because that is not an Aaron Rodgers interception. That is on Garrett Wilson 1,000%. That's on Garrett Wilson. You can't do that. So now Pittsburgh with a chance to really open this up here. At the 1. 1st and goal. As we're going to look at this play again as what are you doing? You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's just terrible. That's just terrible. And something's going on the sidelines here. Somebody's down. Did somebody collapse? What happened? Somebody's being worked on the Jets sidelines. The game is stopped. I don't know what's going on. To the twits and see if we can get any information on this. Either that or ELS. ELS can also help us out. ELS is very good at letting us know what the hell's going on. Trying to find out what's going on with this game right now. No idea what's going on yet. Can't find anything on it. That's definitely an RCI. That's definitely a receiver-caused interception, that one. Hi, Bubba. That's the wife. She'll never come on the stream, guys. That's not going to happen. Let's see here. There's an injured Jets player on the sideline. I can't see who it is, but there's a large crowd. That's what I mean. There was a lot of people around him, like surrounding him. Like that's odd. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, again, I don't know what the injury was for or what happened. There's still a lot of people on the sidelines there. There's a big man. He got blown up by Queen, and he fell backwards. Is that what we were looking at? Like, I don't know. So maybe I was looking at the wrong guy. Yeah, but it looks like did we have a like is this like a Damar Hamlin situation here, or what's going on? Like I don't know. I'm very confused. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to try to find out what the latest is here.
And he makes. So as they do that, we'll step back out.
We got Mike Tirico here. Maybe Mike can help us
And
out.
he makes the head-to-head contact. Patrick Queen runs into him.
Yeah, so head-to-head, he felt like, is he just out? Is he... Well, he got helmet-to-helmet and then also fell backwards, so... Xavier Newman, by the way, is the player who's down. Yikes. Oof, never great to see. Never great to see. Multiple cards coming out for Newman now. Jets have emptied the bench and are surrounding him in support. Replay appeared that Newman hitting his head on the turf after the hard block. And when, yeah, that was... So you had helmet to helmet and then the helmet on the turf. Jets bench is... There's still everybody surrounding there. They got him on a stretcher. They have him strapped up. And not to sound insensitive, but again, this is another Jets offensive line injury as well, which doesn't help. Melissa Stark here giving some kind of update.
Was visibly upset. We have not seen him move any limbs at this point. They spine boarded him and they put him on the gurney. Players are coming over and rubbing his legs and talking to him, and they are preparing to take him off the field.
Yeah, Melissa, thank you. There's
I don't. That's what I mean. Something about this doesn't seem just like your regular everyday concussion, and doesn't seem like is this a paralytic event? Is this a God? I don't know. This is not. This is the thing that sucks. This is the thing that sucks about this. Is you have this kind of situation happening, and it's just damn. You got to hope for the best. And hope that whatever it is, maybe hopefully just like a temporary stinger, like concussion, and hopefully like just a temporary kind of like nervous system reboot, I guess, as it were, and that we'll get a report later on that he's moving all his extremities, and just has a bad headache or something. That's honestly what we can hope for here, and certainly do hope that as well. Yeah, it certainly got prayers up for Newman. Yeah, we want to make sure that. And now here's the other thing too, and again, it's it's the thing you have to think about is now for the other players, you got to get back into the game. And how do you do that after seeing your teammate, somebody you've been with now for a couple of months now, at least through training camp? You're talking about August, September. Now we're in October, so you're talking about almost 4 months of being together, seeing this guy every day. And seeing him carted off like that, you got to get your mind back into a game somehow. That's crazy. That's crazy. But listen, we're here, and they're starting the game. So first and goal. Coming up here for the Steelers. 7:22 left here in the third. Wilson is under center. He takes the snap, tries the QB sneak, and I don't think he's in. So it will be second down. And indeed, he's not in. Nope, now they're saying he's in. I don't know how you can say that afterwards. And again, you can't really review it. But they're saying Steelers touchdown. Oh, he's down there and he's nowhere near it. There's no way. There's no way his knee is down before the ball even gets caught. That is not a touchdown. I don't think it's a touchdown. From the look of it, that doesn't look like a touchdown. Play ELS, that would be fantastic if you keep us updated on Xavier Newman's injury. Thank you so much, brother. This angle here, this is the best one you can see. He's got the ball in that hand, and his knee's down there, and that ball is nowhere near the goal line. Are they still looking at it? It appears they might be, as we see Justin Fields on the sideline, has his helmet off now, and has the cape on. And they are still reviewing it, apparently, as we see Chris Boswell just standing on the field. As we're waiting to see what they say here, because I don't think that is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King, and apparently they have approved the touchdown, so it is indeed a Steelers touchdown. And kick is good, so it is now 23-15. As the Steelers now have an 8-point lead on the New York Jets. After the Garrett Wilson-led interception. Oh, boy. So now the Jets have got some work cut out for them. Can they get some momentum back here? Or are they going to continue to fall apart? We're going to see here. There's a lot going on right now with this Jets team. Of course, with the Xavier Newman injury, and hopefully we'll find out something positive about that soon. But we're going to find out now what the Jets have in store. Can they get back in this game, or have they lost all the momentum? All the momentum right now. Big Mo is on the side of the Steelers. And again, that's going to be returned. And hard to tell what yard line that was returned at, as we got some fights going on here now. Some bad blood. As Taylor, so it looks like the 25-yard line is where that will be. ELS says just went back to look at the Xavier Newman injury after his neck got crunched. I never saw any of his extremities move. That's what people were saying. Independently scary stuff. Hope it's just, like I said, I'm hoping it's one of those things where it's just like he kind of got concussed on the head hit with Queen and then got concussed on the turf, and it's just like a nervous system reboot, and he'll start getting tingling back and getting feeling back in his extremities soon. I'm hoping for that. Hand off to Breece Hall here on first down, and he's going to churn those legs, getting about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards on the carry, as we are under 7 minutes now in the third quarter. Second down coming up here for the Jets. As we take a look at Jake Hansen, who is replacing Newman on the Jets line. Second and 5. Rodgers in shotgun. Hall in the backfield with him. It's going to be a fake to Hall. Down the field, caught by Lazard down to the 46-yard line, 45, 46, depends on where they mark it. But it will be a first down for the Jets. As Lazard gets up a little slowly as he heads over to the bench. That's it. And some of these passes, Roger looks so crisp. On some of them, they're out a little too ahead or something, but if he's on target, he's on target. So 1st and 10 from the 46. Rodgers hands off to Hall. Hall, big hole up the middle, and he gets it all the way down to the Pittsburgh 41-yard line. First down, Jets are in Steelers territory as the Jets are moving the ball with this possession as they are trying to stay in this game. Again, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and they will be tied. So we'll see. Again, this game was kind of called by a lot of people. In here, Hamster was one of them. I believe Dolly was one of them. Pecan was one of them, where it feels like this is going to be a real, real close game. A real one of those down to the last minute knucklers. Floating pass to Breece Hall, incomplete from Rodgers. He gave that one a little bit of a touch, but I don't think Breece knew where it was. So 2nd and 10 with 5:01 Levi's, 5:01 Jeans left here in the third quarter. If you're syncing up with us here, ELS in the chat. Jets offensive lineman Xavier Newman will be taken to the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, one of the best places you can go, UPMC. Level 1 Trauma Center, approximately 4 miles away from Heinz Field. 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Jets. Here's the snap. It's going to be handoff to Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen is going to get 4 yards on the carry. So 3rd and 6 coming up here for the Jets. As again, they show us footage of Newman being carted off the field where he is strapped to that backboard. Actually, they said only a 3-yard gain, so 3rd and 7 coming up here for the Jets. And Rodgers is back, looking to throw. He kind of flips it over to Breece, and Breece is going to be about a yard. They're going to call 2 yards short of the first down. I thought it was about a yard short, but these officials suck at spotting the ball. So 4th down coming up here for the Jets. ELS in the chat with some good news as Xavier Newman is reported to have movement in his extremities. So there is that good news. Thank goodness. Everything else is something else we can worry about, but that's a really huge thing, a big thing. So, woo! All right. I feel good. I feel a little bit better about that. 4th and 1. Jets are going to go for it here. Rodgers, empty backfield. Takes the snap. Back, looks, throws, cross, and that's going to be caught. Down to the 17-yard line. Mike Williams, the one that everybody was like, oh, he's getting out of here. Oh, you're going to trade him. Oh, he's going to do all that stuff. Mike Williams with the huge catch and gets the Jets the first down on 4th and 1 as the Jets now are threatening in the red zone. Let's see what magic Rodgers has in him still. As the pocket begins to break down, he looks, throws, almost caught by Garrett Wilson. Would have been a spectacular catch. Would have been a Pickens-esque catch, but unable to bring it down. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Jets. And Rodgers is again bleeding from his hand. It is not making the letter L this time, but he is bleeding. I agree, Hamster. I think this is going to be a last possession game. It feels like it. So 2nd and 10. Rodgers calls a timeout as the play clock was running down. But a flag, so they threw the flag, but the Jets did call a timeout. But here's the thing. I'm a stickler for the rules. And I said whenever somebody throws a flag, the flag number goes up. So there's the flag. And flag number goes up. Even though they said it's called timeout, I don't care. You threw the flag, it counts. I count every one of your flags, you overzealous flag happy sons of bitches. Because much like Brendan Perna's coffee, fuck the refs. Anyway, thank you so much for watching us here on Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. If you're joining us here and are not yet in the chat, come in the chat. Say hi. The chat is open. Say hi. Say hello. Say how you doing. How'd your football team do on this beautiful football Sunday? Or if your team's still upcoming, you got the Ravens, you got the Bucks, you got the Chargers, and of course you got the Cardinals still coming up tomorrow. If you want to talk about them, chat's open. Come in, say hi. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Jets here. As Aaron Rodgers throws, that ball is batted down by T.J. Watt as he was right in Rodgers' face. So 3rd and 10 now coming up for the Jets. T.J. Watt really kind of making the first impact in the game here. As Moses is not that great of an offensive lineman. Just want to point that out there. Good at parting seas, not good at protecting quarterbacks. Play clock is under 5. 3rd and 10. Rodgers back. Throws. That's good. No flag on that one. Mike Williams looking for it. Did not get it. And it's going to be 4th and 10. And the Jets look like they will go for the field goal. Zerline only with a 67% attempt. He's made 8 out of 12 field goals. So this is no gimme when it comes to the Jets. Snap. Hold. Kick. Up. Blocked. No good. Blocked field goal. And all of that for nothing. Jets come up empty, and you can't. And when you look at it that way, you might as well just gone for it. I know in some other sports they do. Football is still football, I think. So I think Plus, it's not the 80s or 90s, so I don't think anybody cares about AIDS anymore. I don't know. I guess not. I don't know. I don't know, hamster. I don't know how that works out. So now from the 25, the Steelers will take over as we have a runner on the field, probably one of those stupid oil cunts. Don't use oil. Woo! I guess it's better than throwing, tomato soup on a painting, whatever the fuck they did. So now that the streaker has been taken care of, here comes Russell Wilson on 1st and 10 to Freiermuth, gets 1 yard, and he is immediately taking it. I'm sorry, not Freiermuth, Washington. Pardon me. It's hard, sometimes the skin tones kind of blend there, so I didn't really see the difference. As Rodgers is getting his hand worked on. Probably put a couple butterfly bandages on there, a little crazy glue. You'll be good to go. 2nd and 8 coming up here. Yes, New York Liberty won the WNBA championship in overtime. Najee Harris giving the ball, gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that is all. So 3rd and 8 coming up now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So yes, ladies, congratulations, and that will be the last championship anybody but Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will win for the next 10 years in the WNBA. Dodgers 7, Mets 4 in the top of the 8th. Mets still within striking distance. Still within striking distance. They are. Russell Wilson in shotgun. 3rd and 8. Play clock under 5. Takes the snap. Back. Looks to throw. Getting pressured. Thrown. It's complete. And it's going to be a first down with the yak. Warren gets the yak and the first down. The Jets seem to have had it all working out for them, but unable to tackle Warren after the catch. And it's a fresh set of downs for the Steelers, as they will have it now up at the 38-yard line around. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The Jets have got to get a stop here. They got to get the ball back. Again, they're down one possession after having the field goal blocked, as there's another injured Jet coming off the field. Oh, took a knee to the side of the head. That's a concussion protocol. That is a concussion protocol, baby. Ashton Davis with the knee to the side of the dome. So 1:03, 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter and counting. If you're syncing along with us, and I certainly hope that you are, as I'm your boy King here on Stay Tuned Sports. Hand off to Warren on 1st and 10, and he's going to get about 4 yards on the carry. Pittsburgh continuing to move the ball. Game 7 always is the best thing in sport, no matter what it is. I agree with that. So for that alone, let's go Mets go. Russell Wilson takes a snap back, throws to Pickens, and he's going to get the first down. So the chains keep moving. 2nd and 5, he gets 6. And that is going to end the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Got to get the 4s up, because we are in the fourth quarter here on Sunday Night Football. Thank you so much for watching along with me here. I am your host, King, on Stay Tuned Sports, as we watch along on this Sunday Night Football. I certainly hope that you had a great football weekend, whether it be pro, college, both, whatever the case, any kind of sports weekend, however your sports weekend was happening. I certainly hope it was a great one. I certainly hope it was better than mine. Well, on two hands, Notre Dame won, so I was very happy about that. Obviously, I'm a big Notre Dame fan. And the Yankees won the ALCS, so that's a big one too. So congratulations to the Yankees as well. The Giants, though, takes a big hit in that. I see the 4s in the chat. Let's go, baby. Get them 4s up. I love it. But that Giants game was so embarrassing today. That really hurts. That really stings right in the heart. So, you try to look on a positive side, but man, that Giants game. What an embarrassment. 2 outs in the top of the 8th here for the Mets. Nobody on. Oop, ow, got a cramp. I've been sitting too long. I got a cramp in the leg. Hamstring cramp. Fuck. Oh my God. Take me off. Injured. I got an injury. I'm very injured. I'm a hamstring. I'm questionable for the rest of the game. But I'm going to tough it through. I'm going to tough it through here. I love everybody's got the 4s up in chat. There we go. I love it. I love it. Let's see here. Let's go to the old Twitter X. Let's see anything going on there. Any more information that we can get or glean from anybody? I don't know. The wife's posting about Taylor Swift, so I don't know. She must have done something. I don't know. I wonder what the sign. What was that lady's sign? Let's see. I want to see who that was. I want to see who the sprinter was. Let me get a better view of this chick. Oh, wow. Oh, she had cans on her. My God. I think it was like some kind of anti-Trump sign. Whatever. She had big cans. I'll give her that. Anyway, 15 minutes, fourth quarter. We're starting here. And it's going to be a handoff to Najee, and he breaks it loose. Down to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. Down to the 16-yard line is Najee Harris. And the Steelers are making their moves. So, first and 10, handoff again to Najee Harris, and he's going to bring it down to the 13-yard line, maybe the 12 there. $13:45 remaining here in the fourth quarter. A handoff again to Najee Harris. Again, a first down, and he is down to the 4-yard line. Pittsburgh, first and goal from the 4, looking to put this game away early in the fourth quarter. Rodgers, 18 of 31, 220 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. ELS with the stats in the chat. Again, Rodgers gets 2 interceptions there, but one of those interceptions was clearly on Garrett Wilson and clearly his fault. First and goal, Wilson under center, takes the snap. Again, handoff to Najee, and Najee's not going to get anywhere on that one. As the referees blow the whistle for forward progress stopped, as he's pissed because he's saying he was still on his feet and still wanted to go. But the NFL kind of doesn't do that anymore. So, Davante Adams, 3 receptions, 30 yards for 10 yards of reception. Jets defense trying to stiffen up here. Like Johnny Sins looking at Faye Reagan. We'll see what happens. Russell Wilson fakes the handoff. He's looking for someone to throw to. Incomplete to Pickens. 3rd and goal coming up here. He had all the time in the world, could not find anybody open. $12-13 remaining here in the fourth quarter. If the Steelers score here, time is really going to be short for the Jets. Even though there's basically a whole quarter to play, things will be getting a little tight for the Jets. As we see Arthur Smith on the sideline wearing his Scottish flag. Maybe he'll be fired next for wearing a flag of another country on his jersey. We don't know. 3rd and goal. Russell Wilson throws wide open. Caught and touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this game is going to quickly start getting out of control for the New York Jets, as time now will be a factor for sure. Van Jefferson with the reception. So Boswell on for the extra point. Snap, hold, kick, up, good. 30-15. Now a 15-point lead for the Steelers. And the Jets are running out of time. Again, this is going to be a game where you look back. If you're a Jets fan, if you're a Jets player, you're going to look back and see all the wasted opportunities that you had. Like, they had a lot of opportunities here that have been just 1,000% wasted. Bad turnovers, again, from Garrett Wilson. And I'll say this, the one interception that he threw that he was trying to throw to Garrett Wilson on the first one, that was just a great play by Bishop. That was a fantastic interception. There's no other way to say it. He just stuck his hand out there as if he was going to knock it down. He was able to grab it one-handedly. That was great. But as for like the other one that was strictly on Garrett Wilson, bouncing it up, like how do you just not get like that? That was clearly just on all Garrett Wilson. And then just on that, like you've had other opportunities to get things done. You were down there in the red zone, and you settle for a field goal. That thing gets blocked. And, and there's so much that you've left on the table if you're the Jets. ELS in chat, yes, I'm going to imagine that Tree is very happy. Yeah, Urinating Tree is going to be probably, he's going to be hyping up Wilson now, and he's going to be all on the Wilson bandwagon, and yeah, let's go Wilson, and let's get, like, so that's, no matter what he might have been saying beforehand, and I think it was going to be the same for a lot of Steelers fans, if we're going to be honest. Like, he's going to be coming out there and like, you gave the guy a shot. This is why you wanted to give him a shot and see if he does anything good. And boy, did he do something good. And it's going to be a whole thing. So, but I can't say anything because at least they have a quarterback, and at least they have a coach that can coach a quarterback, and at least they have a somewhat competent offense and a great defense. The Giants don't have anything. We don't have a competent coach. We don't have a quarterback. We don't have. We have a great defensive front, but our secondary is absolutely nonsense. So, there's some Pittsburgh 10s there, which is an everywhere else 4. So good for them. Good to see that. I'm guessing they're playing Renegade there. As the terrible towels waving. As we see, who's that Swanee up there? Lynn Swan enjoying this on the 50th anniversary of Super Bowl IX celebration for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And here it goes. Oh, man, I forgot the possession ball again. My God. So it was the Steelers, and now it will be the Jets. That's going to be a touchback. ELS, all I can say is that the Steelers are going to have a very weird quarterback situation. Wonder how long the Steelers will trust Wilson before they go back to Fields. And again, I thought going into this game you were going to have Wilson on a very short leash. And if he did not play well or threw a couple picks or was not progressing the offense, that they were going to pull him quick. That has not been the case. He's been efficient. He's been good. He's gotten a couple deep passes. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you play for the results. Breece Hall on first down is going to get a yard loss. 2nd and 11 coming up for the Jets. So when you look at it from that way, ELS, like Russell Wilson has played himself into another starting week next week. And then from next week, you see what happens. And then from there, you see what happens after that. But I think he's at least earned himself now another start. And if he starts putting some starts together, and then if he has a bad start, even if it's a bad start, it's going to be good. And we have a false start on the Jets. That's another flag. And we've hit double digits again, which, I mean, in the NFL this year, if you don't have double-digit flags, I mean, are you even watching a game? So, it's going to be 2nd and 16 now for the Jets, as they just keep on putting themselves in a hole. Down 2 possessions. But I say, if this is going to be Russell Wilson's baseline, this is Russell Wilson's job now. Aaron Rodgers back to throw, and he connects to Breece Hall out of the backfield for 1, 2, 3, about 4.5, maybe 5 yards, depending on the spot by the officials. So still third down and at least 11. Could be 12 coming up here for the Jets. So third and very long. Just third and long. We'll put it that way. As the Steelers, you see the Steelers defense calling their defense. Getting ready to put all the pressure they can on Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, as it is indeed third and 12. They have to get to the 40. They are currently on the 28-yard line. Rodgers back to throw. Has decent protection. Throws over the middle. Caught! First down. New York Jets. Allen Lazard with the reception. Pecan gives Wilson 2 to 3 weeks. It depends. Again, if he plays like he played tonight, as his baseline, if he plays this, like if he plays no worse than this, if this is how he plays for the next week, this is his job. If he comes out next week and sucks, then you're going to be looking at maybe throwing Fields back out there. First and 10, it's going to be Conklin out of the backfield, good for about a yard. Second and 9 coming up here for the New York Metropolitans. Rodgers in shotgun. Trips left. Breece Hall in the backfield. And we've got flags. And we've got movement again. Indeed we do. Movement on the Jets. False start. And they're going to put themselves in another hole. As it will now be 2nd and 14. And the Jets take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And you're down 2 possessions. You're down 15 points. You can't have that happen. Under 10 minutes in the game right now. 9:44 remaining here in the fourth quarter if you want to sync up with us here. 2nd and 14 coming up for the Jets as they go to the line. Aaron Rodgers in shotgun. Takes the snap. Back. Looks. Throws quickly over the middle. It's going to be caught by Garrett Wilson. And he breaks away. Down to the Steelers 40. To the 35. To the 31-yard line is where he will be marked down. And the Jets have a first down in Steelers territory. Dodgers are now up 9-4 against the Mets in the NLCS. The Mets got last licks coming up here in a little bit. Will they be able to get back into this game? As there apparently appears to be a dogfight in the backyard over here. I don't know if Michael Vick is visiting or not. But it certainly sounds interesting. 9:02, 9:01, 9 minutes here at the snap. Rodgers throws, connects to Conklin. Conklin is going to rumble himself for about 5.5 yards. Second down coming up here for the Jets. Jets are moving the ball. Need to do it, but they need to do it a little bit quicker. Time is a-ticking. You have to score. You got to keep the Steelers from scoring, and then you got to get the ball back and score again. Lots still to happen here. Rodgers in shotgun. Takes the snap. Trips right, by the way. As he throws. That's going to be incomplete to Breece Hall. Rodgers was getting pressured the entire time. So 3rd and 5 now coming up for the Jets. Again, my name is King. Thank you so much for tuning in here to Stay Tuned Sports for Sunday Night Football, as we do our Sunday Night Watch Along, as we do every single week. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching along with us, the chat is open. Come in, say hi, say hello. Talk about whatever you want. You know, mainly football, but whatever you want to do. Come on in. Rodgers back, looks, throws, caught, and immediately hit at the line of scrimmage is Conklin. So it'll be 4th down. The Jets you got to go for it. Dodgers-Yankees, that's old school. That's just an old school matchup there. We've got a timeout by Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh calls their very first timeout. That harkens back to the days of the Brooklyn Dodgers and Pee Wee Reese and Jackie Robinson and Roy Campanella and all that stuff, where there was always the Yankees and Dodgers there in the 40s and 50s. It was almost every single World Series was Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers. And they've kept that rivalry kind of going in the World Series anyway. Even after the move to L.A., they've played in the World Series a couple times. I believe the last time was 1981, which is actually the year I was born. So that would actually be kind of cool to see Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series once again against each other. Plus, I got a couple friends that are Dodgers fans, so it'd be kind of cool to mess with them. We'll see here. 4th and 4. Jets need to convert. This is an absolute necessity. Trips right. Rodgers takes the snap, back, looks, throws, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. Steelers get the ball. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say that this is probably the game. 7:53 left. Unless the Jets get like an interception, return for a touchdown, or some other kind of nonsense. This game feels like this is all over but the crying for the New York Jets. Ten to 4 now, Dodgers here. Man on 1st and 3rd, still only 2 outs. So it is looking more and more like it will be Dodgers-Yankees in the World Series, starting, I believe, on Friday is with Game 1. As the Mets went into this inning, down only 3 runs, they are now down 6. And that's going to be a lot to overcome. Now, listen, in this series, teams have put up 8 runs in an inning. So anything's possible. Especially with the way this series has been, what these teams have played, I'm not going to count anything out yet as far as that goes. But it's starting to look like it is Yankees-Dodgers in the World Series. Pecan in the chat, Jets not going to make the playoffs. Not at this rate. Now that you're 2-5, if you're 2-5, you're the same record as the Giants are. Which is, I don't think anybody had that for the Jets. I think if you were thinking about the Jets, you were thinking, well, at least there's one New York team that'll be good, and we'll see what they do. But this team has been just an absolute mess of a team. And you can sit there, and Aaron Rodgers is going to get a lot of the blame, but I don't think it's a lot of Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a lot of ownership. I think the fact that they went into this season with Robert Saleh was a massive mistake to begin with. But I think they did so because it was Rodgers, and everybody kind of got a mulligan because of Aaron Rodgers' injuries and because he wanted him there. I think there was a big disconnect when he kind of threw him under the bus for the inexcused absence for his trip to Egypt, even though it was already known by the Jets and it wasn't inexcused. It was told he can go. And so that became a big point of contention. And I think there was a lot of strain on the relationship there. But so I think Saleh only still had this job because Rodgers wanted him to have this job. And everybody kind of got a mulligan from last year. But Saleh should have been fired after 2023 or 2022 and definitely should have been fired after 2023. And I think that was a huge mistake coming into this year with Saleh as your coach. I think they focused, again, too much on the weapons and not on the offensive line and protection. And it's showing. It's unfortunately showing here for the Jets where they have great talent, but Rodgers can't get the ball to him because he's on his ass most of the game. So, Hamster, it's been fun tonight. Watch along with you. I'll watch another possession in case something crazy happens. And then, listen, Hamster, I got to say, man, it's been awesome seeing you in here. Thank you so much. And again, to everybody who's joined us here in the chat, and if you're just watching too, again, thank you so much for watching us here on Stay Tuned Sports. And again, if you're just watching, if you're just lurking, that's cool. Don't get it wrong. I lurk a lot too. But also, once you feel a little bit more comfortable, come on in the chat. It's fun. Everybody's fun. Everybody loves you. It's going to be great. And again, thank you so much for all that you do, for all your likes. And again, if you like what you're watching, please give us a subscribe. That helps out tremendously. Also, give us a like. Share us around. Like your favorite STD. We would appreciate that massively. 2nd and 10. Wilson back to throw. Down the field. Wide open. How do you let that man be that open? Oh, my great googly moogly doogly. Calvin Austin with nary a green and white jersey in sight. Hamster, I will be doing the Ravens and Buccaneers game tomorrow. Yes, I will be. We do all the primetime games here. We do Monday nights, Thursday nights, and Sunday nights. And, of course, any Giants and Jet games that are on as well, as Jimbo's an Eagles fan. I'm a Giants fan, so we'll be doing those. That's what we do here on Stay Tuned Sports. So every primetime game is going to be covered. Except for when they do the stupid 2 Monday night games and we have to pick one. But this one was pretty easy to pick. When you have Ravens and Buccaneers or Chargers and Cardinals, no disrespect to Cardinals or Chargers fans. Love you guys, and the Chargers look like they're going to be an exciting team, up-and-coming team. But clearly I think the marquee matchup this Monday is going to be Ravens and Bucs. Pecan in the chat, go Baker. Yeah, you got to pull for Baker. I do like Baker, and to me, the Ravens feel like they're due for one of their kind of Raven down games. So we'll see what happens. 2nd and 6 from the Jets' 35-yard line. Rodgers. Wilson hands it off here. And that's going to be a gain of... Najee breaks free. They do whistle the forward momentum dead. So it's going to be short of a first down. The LS in the chat with an "Arg the Buccaneers." And see, I go with the more the French, Spanish, Creole kind of the boucanier, Go more of the origin of the word kind of pronunciation. Plus, it's just fun to say. The boucanier. 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Steelers. It's going to be a pitch out to Warren, and he's going to stumble his way to a first down. Under 5 minutes, fresh set of downs here for the Steelers as the clock milks away. As the Jets are indeed running out of time, running out of chances. We are in the top of the ninth, by the way, in the NLCS. 10-4 is the score. Let's see if the Mets can mount a miracle comeback. They are not called the Miracle Mets for nothing. Steelers milking this clock for all it's worth. It's going to be a handoff there to Warren, and he's going to lose a yard. 2nd down. But the clock keeps ticking. Jets got 2 timeouts left. Same for the Steelers. Steelers keep on moving the ball the way they are. There's going to be no... there's just not going to be any time left here for the Jets to do anything. Jesse Winker strikes out for the Mets. They are down to their last 2 outs. Wilson pitches it back to Warren. Gets ahead of steam, and he's going to be out of bounds. Stops the clock with 3... oh, nope. They're winding the clock. Or now they stop the clock. Is that a timeout by the Jets? I thought he stepped out, so I thought he was definitely out of bounds. But they are called. They won the clock, so the Jets do call timeout. They're down to 1 timeout left. 3:28 remaining on the clock. Sterling Marte grounds out, so there are 2 outs. Mets down to their last out, down 6 runs. As we see Tirico and Collinsworth. Now here's a guy. He reminds me so much of Mahomes when you think about it. The way he just kind of snaps the ball and the way he takes it, the way he holds it, it's so Mahomesian. Hand off to Warren. And he's going to get pushed for the first down. That is a first down for the Steelers. Or depends on where they mark them. Where did they mark it? The forward progress to be stopped. It's going to be close. Warren jobber drawing there with some of the Jets. If I'm the Jets, I'm not jabbering with anybody. There's always a chance. There's always a chance. 1-2. Mets down to the final strike here. We got a challenge flag out there by the Steelers saying that he made the first down. So there we go. We got a Steelers challenge here with 2:44 left, saying they made the first down, or if it's just a couple inches of short. I don't know what the hell that even means. Mets get a double, so still 2 outs. Man on second, down 6 runs. Well, actually, no. It was a single, but he advanced to second on defensive indifference. Looks like Mets get a run, 10-5 now. Mets down only 5 runs now. Look at this. Look at this. Could be something. Is this the start of a rally for them? Dude, this would be hilarious. This would be hilarious. A lot of people upset, saying that getting Davante Adams really didn't help the Jets at all. And again, the Jets need to get a lot more help than just Davante Adams. That's the 3rd out, and that is the game. It is over. The Los Angeles Dodgers will play the New York Yankees in the World Series starting on Friday. Congratulations on the Mets on a great season, on a hell of a run. So I'll give them that. I'll give them big credit for that. Hell of a run by the Mets in this postseason to get into the postseason and to play that. And the Steelers are indeed short after the review. So it will be a 4th and inches. Steelers lose the timeout on the challenge failure. On a 4th down sneak, do the Steelers get it? This is big. Clock is still running. They finally stopped the clock. They're going to have to put time back on that. Where are they spotting this ball? They're putting it right at the first down marker. And they're saying first down. Boy, that's... I don't know. I don't know. But then how do you even challenge that? Like, you can't see where anything is. See, this is the thing I hate about this, is that you're basically depending on a referee's get. I don't think that ball never got there before he's down. Come on. And the Jets now challenge. So 2 challenges about the spot of the ball. Pecan in the chat. Will Aaron Rodgers walk away after the season if they don't make the playoffs? If they didn't just trade for Davante Adams, I would have said yes. I'm gonna say no. As of right now, I think even if it's a disappointing season, doesn't go as well, I think he stays. Now, again, whether the Jets want to keep him at that point, that'll be up to whoever's still there, what the contract situations are for everybody and everything like that. But Davante's still got a couple years on his contract, but the Jets have now. And like I said, I think if maybe they didn't get Davante, or if Davante wasn't there, it would be more of an easy yes, that he might walk away. But as it stands right now, I would say actually because of that, no, that he wouldn't walk away. Now, again, if he's asked to leave, that's a different story. But I don't think he'll walk away. I think he'll get one more year of Aaron Rodgers in the Jets with a new coaching staff, with new everything like that, and see what happens. And see, give it one last go. It'll be a one last go kind of situation. Challenge is unsuccessful. They call first down, and the Jets will lose their final timeout. And that's gonna be game. Now the Steelers can just kind of run out the clock here. Again, Jets had a chance here. Again, they missed so many chances here. That Garrett Wilson interception is terrible. That was a murder to them. Again, a missed field goal that hurts. Just a lot of bad things happened there for the Jets, especially in the second half. They got no momentum in the second half. Second half was all Steelers, and this shows. And again, they're just going to pitch over here to Najee. Najee's going to get 3 yards on the carry. That'll bring it down to the 2-minute warning. 2nd down and 7. When we come back from the 2-minute warning, Jets have no timeouts. They cannot stop the clock, and they are down 2 scores. So, 2 touchdowns actually. As we look at Mike Tomlin on the sideline there, getting his team ready for the 2-minute warning. Pecan, do you think Eli stayed too long, or was it the coaches? I think I definitely think at the end of his career it was the coaches. It was definitely like Ben McAdoo was shit. He was a bad coach. Coughlin, his time had kind of come. Unfortunately, like everybody has their run. It happens. With Eli was always an all or nothing quarterback. It's like when the Giants really never made the playoffs, and if they did, that's what they went all the way. Like every game, if Eli won a playoff game, the Giants were winning the Super Bowl. That's how it was. And if they even got into the playoffs sometimes and lost it, like that happened in 2016, Giants made the playoffs, first round exit out. And then other times just missed the playoffs completely. But then you look at 2007, just snuck into the playoffs. 2011 just snuck into the playoffs. And then went on these magical runs that they had where Eli played better than really any quarterback in the league in those playoffs. And then you have the Giants where they won a division. They were like, 12-4. What was that, 2016, I think? And won a division, had home field, and lost in the first round. So it was always all or nothing when it came to Eli. So I think it's not that you stay too long or not. It's just you're there for as long as you are. Fourth down coming up here. Clock is running. We're under a minute. 4th and 2. Steelers going to try to close this game out, get a first down, and end it. As we are now under 40 seconds in game time. One more first down. If they get a first down here on 4th and 2, it will be the game. Clear. Well, it's the game anyway. It's over. Let's be honest here. As they will take a timeout with 30 seconds left as the play clock had reached 0. As they milked as much time as they could off. So that will be the Steelers' final timeout. Steelers coming up next week against the Giants. Boy, can't wait to watch. I think that's a primetime game too. Fuck off. No, I'm tired. No, I don't. I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to watch that game. And boy, their schedule after their bye, they have to play the Commanders, and then it's a full division schedule: Ravens, Browns, and Bengals. My God. By the way, Russell Wilson has a passer rating of 109 in this game. Since Big Ben retired, the Steelers starting quarterback games with a rating of 109 or better. Mason Rudolph has 3. Russell Wilson has this 1. And Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and Justin Fields have combined for 0 of those games. So Russell Wilson earning the starting job here tonight, I believe. 4th and 2. Handoff to Najee. First down, and he's going to high step into the end zone. Instead of just going down and ending the game, he's going to add on. As the Jets now getting a little bit embarrassed here by the Steelers. Well, at least the Giants were the only. At least the Jets scored touchdowns, unlike the Giants today. So 26 seconds left. Jets down 3 touchdowns. Let's see if they can come back in this game. Snap, hold, kick, up, good. 37-15. Steelers. 22-point lead. 26 seconds left. And it's all over but the crying. So we've had an interesting sports night here as the Steelers pull away in the second half and are now going to win this game 37-15 against the Jets. You had the New York Liberty winning the WNBA championship. Congratulations to the New York Liberty and all those fine young ladies in their hard work and determination in winning that. And then we had the Los Angeles Dodgers beating the Mets by a score of 10-5. The Mets' magical postseason run comes to an end, but we will now have a World Series of baseball blue bloods, juggernauts, the Yankees, and the Dodgers. That should be a fun one to watch. So again, 26 seconds left here. We're just waiting for the kickoff and for time to run out. Russell Wilson celebrating with Pickens and Najee Harris on the sidelines. As well, he should. Good game. Again, real good game for Russell Wilson. He did what a lot of people said was not something he would be able to do. He played a very good game and he earned the starting jobs. And I see Justin Fields on the sideline, and he's kind of got, sad face. And I get it. Last sip of coffee there. It's a little cold, but I don't care. We can do that. So, just to keep everybody abreast of what we're going to be doing here, tomorrow, we will be doing the Ravens and Buccaneers game. That'll be coming to you live right here at 8 o'clock is when we'll start the broadcast and have our little 5-minute countdown where you can look at all of our products that we have available for you in our merch store. Jets run on first down. First down run there by Breece Hall, and that's going to be the end of the game. As the clock is going to tick down, tick down, tick down. The Jets have indicated that they are not going to run another play. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have ourselves a final Steelers 37-15. So yes, good night, Pecan. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. Again, tomorrow we will be doing Ravens and Buccaneers. Then Tuesday will be the countdown, where me and Jimbo will release our top 12 NFL power rankings, as well as our Booty Cheeks 5, which may include the Giants this week, for fuck's sake. Then on Wednesday is the main podcast, Stay Tuned Sports. That'll be coming to you. And then Thursday night, we will have Thursday Night Football and the Thursday Night Watch Along. Friday will be the Friday Forecast, where we will make our picks and predictions for the rest of the weekend of Week 8. And indeed, ELS, it was a huge win for the Steelers. So you have the Steelers winning here. You have the Dodgers winning the NLCS and going to the World Series to face the Yankees. You have the New York Liberty winning their WNBA championship. And you have the Giants being an absolute shit show and an embarrassment to the sport of football. A very busy, full Sunday we've had for everybody. And I want to thank you all for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. For my partner who is not here, Jimbo, which you'll catch him again on Tuesday on the countdown, I am King. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe. It helps us out a ton. Also, links to our donation station and merch is in the description below. Until tomorrow night. See you later, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Adios.